Okay, we're good. Okay, perfect timing? Hi, I switched from Streamlabs OBS to just regular OBS. Hopefully that'll change things. Hopefully that'll fix things. Let's just hope it stays that way. But oh my god, 1 hour. 1 hour until the showcase begins. I can't be certain if it will be... Oh my god, this is such a... Okay. I don't know what happened with my stream. It just kind of just went off and on and on. It just went through a horrible bitrate moment. But oh my god. I love the fact that we're like, we're on Mars. And we have guns, even though I don't think guns will work. Yeah, look at this. Oh, it's so beautiful. I remember when this was the first thing I saw. I love how they're using M16s. There it is. There's the Traveler. Come on, you know that was from original Destiny. Goosebumps. Oh, let me hear it.
We called it the Traveler, and its arrival changed us forever.
Yeah, it did.
Great cities were built on Mars and Venus. Mercury became a garden world. Human lifespan tripled. It was a time of miracles.
Human lifespan tripled.
We stared out at the galaxy and knew that it was our
like
destiny
150 years old
to walk in the light of other stars. But the Traveler had an enemy. A darkness which had hunted it for eons across the black gulfs of space. Centuries after our golden age began, this darkness found us. And that was the end of everything. But it was also a beginning.
I would just say that this Cosmodrome, Destiny 1 Cosmodrome. I just want to say that... Actually, I forgot what I was going to say, honestly. But this was a phenomenon. When I first saw this, I actually thought this was a horror game. But no. I love the fact that we didn't even know what the darkness was. We just thought it was an enemy. We thought the Traveler was the good guys and the darkness was the bad guys. But instead, we figured out that they're just tools. They're just beings. There's no good or bad side. We didn't know this in Destiny 1. None of us knew this. We didn't know this until Beyond Light. Until Beyond Light and the Witch Queen. We did not know this. I love how to bring the original voice actor of Cayde for the final shape, but
is it possible?
There you are. Or there you are.
There you are.
Yeah, there you are. Ghost is such a great character. I love Ghost. Here we are.
Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian. Word. You're alive. You don't know how long I've been looking for you. I'm a ghost. Actually, now I'm your ghost, and you? Well, you've been dead a long time. So you're going to see a lot of things you won't understand. This is fallen territory. We aren't safe here. I have to get you to the city.
Hold still. Oh, they're going through. Oh, this has to be just a Destiny 1 cutscene. Yeah, it's just a Destiny 1 cutscene because you can't. Yeah, it's a Destiny 1 cutscene because they never remade this. This is just Destiny 1 gameplay. Let's go.
There was a time when we were much more powerful.
Speaker.
But that was long ago.
I remember when ghost shells were very
Until
rare.
it wakes and finds its voice. I am the one who speaks for the Traveler.
Not anymore.
You must have no end of questions, Guardian. In its dying breath, the Traveler created the Ghosts to seek out those who can wield its light as a weapon. Guardians to protect us and do what the Traveler itself no longer can.
What happened to it?
I could tell you of the great battle centuries ago,
There were multiple great battles.
how the Traveler was crippled. I could tell you of the power of the darkness, its ancient enemy. There are many tales told throughout the city to frighten children. Lately, those tales have stopped. Now, the children are frightened anyway. The darkness is coming back. We will not survive it this time.
Its armies surround us. The Fallen are just the beginning.
Fallen, we're not part of the darkness.
What
We
can
didn't
I
know
do?
that for a while.
You must push back the darkness. Guardians are fighting on Earth and beyond. Join them. Your ghost will guide you. I only hope he chose wisely.
Traveler was so interesting.
I did. I'm sure of it. We're in
Okay.
this together now.
We are. We always were. We still are. Oh, I want to play Destiny 1 again. I want them to port it to Steam. If they port it to Steam, it's so good. The Guardian rises, the dark beyond. After a long reprieve, it is believed that the Hive had been pushed back from Earth, but the Hive surfaced once more in Old Russia's Cosmodrome, preparing armies city. On the moon, the Hive began casting ritual measures to siphon away the Traveler's remaining light. Guardians put an end to these efforts, preserving the slumbering Traveler. Okay, I did not know. An Israel ally known as the Exo Stranger informed the Guardians of the Thor on Venus. To save the Traveler, the Guardians would have to find a way to reach the Black Heart. I had more time to read that. Locating the Black Garden incurred to a debt to Mara Sov, Queen of the Awoken. With her help, Guardians infiltrated the garden and destroyed the Black Heart, restoring the Traveler's light.
For centuries, we feared the forces
Oh, it's just
of
going through the
darkness
entire main
massing
storyline.
against us. We sought to hide and cower beneath a broken god. No more. These guardians show us what we are,
There's Cade.
what we have always been, and what we will be again.
Is that guy using Sunbreakers?
We are what remains of the light, and we will not be stamped out.
It's a day for pretty speeches and medals. But we know the real fight takes place out there. Take this. There's so much more, Guardian. I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness.
Yes, you have.
Every moment brings them closer. ends are beginnings. Our fight is far from over.
It was way far from over. On the moon, the Hive continued to amass strength under the leadership of Crotus and the Hive god Oryx and Slayer of many Guardians. Seeking to avenge her lost fire team, Eris Morn guided Guardians to a victory against each of Crotus' disciples. The Hive besieged a Warmind, a Golden Age military AI, but were rebuffed. At last, Crotus' very soul was banished and his threat ended. Oryx, the Taken King, made his way to the Sol system in search of vengeance for his son Crotus' death. The Awoken fought his fleet near Saturn, but were grossly outmatched. This was a really good... Taken King was a massive turn point for Destiny.
About the day I was born. I still bear the scars. The Awoken are my family now.
There's Aldrin. He was just a dick. And then he became more of a dick. And then he became a wholesome guy with just a midlife crisis, basically.
We fought to keep our beautiful creation safe. And now this beast.
I love how they didn't talk about
to be king.
House of Wolves.
Mara Sav bows
Technians.
to no one.
I had that emote. Yeah, Taken King was an amazing DLC. They really outdid themselves for Taken King. Did nothing.
You and I know how this ends. We've known since you escaped from that pit.
Yeah.
The Awoken have played their part.
For now. At the moment, they did.
This was all part of the plan. Guide them my hidden friend. It is all up to you now.
As orcs take us right across there, the orcs confronted the king's help and brought an end to his reign, but not his legacy. And then he took himself. And that was the introduction of the sword weapon for Destiny. Yeah, he took himself. Someone comes over, touches the sword turns into that weird crystal that I never really knew what it was.
My queen, you were right. The Guardian was the key. For the first time, the whispers are silent. It is done.
There it is. Never knew what that was.
I have accepted my fate. I will not fail.
That introduced us to Arcstrider and not Arcstrider, whatever. Rise of Iron, best one. And then that was it. Dominus Gaul led his Red Legion Cabal in an assault of the last city. Victorious, he led Cabal technology to ensure the Traveler and block the light. Yep. This is Destiny 2. I love how the fact that they just didn't acknowledge Rise of Iron. There's Cayde. Ikora, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Ikora, if you tell me this is a practical joke, well, it kills me to say it, but I would be really impressed.
Impressing you, Cayde, is the easiest thing I'll do all day.
Let's get serious, people.
Zavala, this is my serious face. Can't you tell?
Ikora, what have you got?
Oh, Lance
Someone or
Reddick.
something has sabotaged the Skyline defense systems.
And comms have been spotty for the last few hours. Every sensor beyond the wall has gone dark.
Maybe it's just the storm. Maybe it's... What are the set feeds telling us?
Nothing.
Well, that's good, right?
No. I mean, they're not there. There are no satellites.
And that's not good.
Battle stations!
There they are. They attacked the tower.
Now!
Yeah, put up bubble. Bubble. Blink.
Hang on!
They attacked so many things. It was a successful attack. And the real question is, how did they even manage to learn, from what I don't remember anymore? I probably did remember this. But how were they able to figure out how to suppress the light? I don't know. Guess they never will. Guards who were gathered, the Vanguard mounted a counter-assault to take back humanity's home. Gaul planned to steal the light, backfired, and the Traveler destroyed him. Yeah, that was weird. That was an interesting one. Yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. Almighty. Stuff like that. Touched Mars. One thing that we didn't... Oh yeah, I even touched the reef. There was one thing that we weren't expecting, that we weren't ready for. Also, the Dreadnought, loved that little reference there. It was a thing that we were not ready for at all. It reached past our known solar system, out into the space of the unknown, and accidentally hit one thing that we never expected that it would hit us. We never expected for it to... We never expected this to happen. And then they found us. We didn't know what that was. Curse of Osiris. We don't talk about that. Warmind. It was okay. Forsaken. The Guardian and the legendary hunter Cayde Six travel to the prison of elders to contain the chaos of a high-stakes prison escape. This was a... no! No! I can't... I don't really think I can watch this.
Never felt better. You see that, Petrel? Petrel? Guardian? Must have knocked out the comm relays with that spectacular landing.
Spectacular.
And cue the ominous music. Okay, everybody. Back in your cages. I said, back in your cages! Sorry, not sorry.
Cayde was so funny. Well, the fact that he forged, so he was about to use Golden Gun, got tackled. They all cornered him. They started beating him down. And that's when the light was like, alright, time to give you a new form. Or he was pissed enough to make a new form. Right here. That's interesting.
That's it. Now I'm pissed. Oh, is that really all you got?
Shouldn't have taken out your ghost body.
You help me out here, little buddy.
Shouldn't have taken out your ghost, Cayde. Now you're lightless.
home, Ace.
Sad. Very sad. And we have to watch him die? Great. Great.
Well, this is awkward. You got a gun I can borrow?
No. But I do have a bullet with your name on it.
Any second now, my partner is gonna roll in here and kill every last one of you. And you, my man.
This is going to hurt. A lot.
I love the fact you can hear the whisper of
Any last
Riven.
words?
How's your sister?
Don't like that. Seeking to avenge Cayde 6 at any cost, Guardians acted outside the authority of the Vanguard. The Guardians hunted down each of Uldren's allies in turn, and they finally brought down Uldren himself. Season of the Forge? Good. Season of Drifter? Pretty good. Season of Opulence? Pretty good. Shadowkeep. Deep beneath the lunar surface, Erismore discovered a dormant pyramid ship and summoned the Guardians to help investigate its presence. Guardians ventured deep into the Hive stronghold to seeking answers, ultimately breaching the pyramid ship and coming face to face with the Messenger of the Darkness.
You made it. We have heard your cries for help. And soon we will answer. Who are you? Don't you recognize us?
I love that.
We are not your friend. We are not your enemy. We are your salvation.
I love that. It's cool. Next up, Season of the Dying, good. Season of Dawn, great. Season of the Worthy, good. Season of Rivals, the Black Fleet, humanity's ancient foe, returned to our system. There they are. This is when Big Red died. Temporarily. And then they had to kill him off recently. As the Pyramid fleet darkened the skies of the Sol system and the entire planet disappeared in the encroaching shadow, the Traveler acted once more and reformed its shape. That was a really cool event. None know the true nature of this act. Was it a defensive measure, reacting to a growing threat, a clarion to call Guardian, or something yet undiscovered? Beyond light, as the Black Fleet fills the sky, a strange power pulls friend and foe alike to the ruins of Europa, and a new Kel wields the gift of darkness to unite the fallen. 25 minutes. There's a lot of cutscenes that they're probably going to act here. This was a turn point for the story. When we heard that we were able to wield the darkness, that was huge when it first came out. Also, this is when I was in freshman or sophomore year. Yeah, seeing the Drifter in Eris Morn here is pretty big, honestly. But seeing the Exo Stranger was huge, because we haven't seen her, we never saw her in so long. Are they still gonna show the weird little, the floaty guys? Floaty guys from Neomuna. Because if that's the case, then how did the Stranger know about Neomuna? Yeah, how did they know about Neomuna?
This is what I brought you here to see.
It's a little weird thing that people never really understood. With the help of new allies, the Guardian claimed the power of stasis, using darkness in service of protecting humanity, defeated Aramis, was overwhelmed by darkness, and encased in crystal. As planets fell back to the fleet, Xivu Arath, the Hive God of War, moved to seize power. Osiris ventured deep into enemy territory to uncover her schemes and was ambushed. His ghost, Sagira, paid the ultimate price. Season of the Chosen, Season of the Splicer, Season of the Lost. After Save 14, Crow and the Guardian raced to Dreamy City to confront Osiris, Savathun revealed the truth. For months, she had assumed Osiris' identity, sowing distrust and chaos with the Vanguard and beyond. Queen Marasov struck a bargain where, in exchange for being freed from her worm, Savathun will reveal the secrets of darkness, intent on living in a curse-run Dreamy City. Mara planned to kill her nemesis, but just as the separation ceremony completed, Savathun escaped, her whereabouts unknown. Witch Queen. Yeah, this was very interesting.
I saw the end before it happened. My own death, brought on by the separation from my power. And in these final moments, I looked to the sky.
It meant that this is what made us think, like, the Traveler was just a tool.
Old friend.
She asked for
I've
help.
chased you for a long time. First as an enemy, then as a collector, and finally, now, a supplicant. What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery. Bravery inspires sacrifice. And sacrifice
leads to death.
Here we are. Wouldn't it be clever of you if after everything, you simply let me die? What a trick. Elegant. don't hear it. Because now the world begins to fade.
And then a ghost pops up. And that was scary.
So, you're saying Savathun was dead? Our most devious adversary, the one who nearly decimated the last city from within, was dead. And the Traveler resurrected her?
I wouldn't have believed it either, but...
But why would she need us to recover her memories if she never lost them in the first place?
This has to be another trick. A lie to fool us into surrendering the Traveler without a fight.
This has been the Traveler's approach from the beginning. The Books of Sorrow detail many civilizations it blessed with the light, then abandoned.
Hive propaganda.
The Fallen tell the same story. When the Witness and its Black Fleet came to call, the Traveler moved on to our system.
Or it sacrificed itself to save humanity from the same forces. Forces which included the Hive!
It's interesting.
After all that, why would the Traveler give our worst enemy the light?
I don't know. Well, at least I don't.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, really.
I don't know why the Traveler gave Savathun the light. Maybe it has changed its mind about Guardians. Maybe it's not as infallible as we once believed. I don't know, and it doesn't matter. Because I'm here to protect humanity. And if Savathun takes the Traveler, we lose our light, along with any hope for surviving the Witness's return. So, whatever it takes to stop this heist, we will do.
All right. How do
Check
we
in stream real
stop
quick.
this?
Nope. Firefox, go away. Go away, Firefox.
I'm not sure yet, but I know where to find out.
No drop frames. Good. Audio do a good? Good. Desktop audio? Good. Alright. Using knowledge from Savathun's calcified worm familiar, Guardians defeat the Witch Queen in her throne world.
Isn't this interesting? I miscalculated. So did you, Guardian. So protective of your Traveler that you wouldn't let me keep it safe. But the Witness is coming. The game is yours to play now. Yours to win. Or
Oh, we will.
lose. Just don't say I didn't warn you.
Damn it, Traveler.
No. Where did her ghost go?
Guardian, I just got the message. The Traveler is back in the last city. Is it done? Is Savathun?
She's dead. But her ghost got away.
Good enough. Hold your position. The Hidden are coming to secure the remains. Good work, Guardian. You did the right thing.
Now what?
Now, we prepare for the witness and stop the next collapse.
You should have said now we prepare. Anyways. And then we saw the witness for the first time. And oh my god, people memed the fuck out of him. But also, he was very scary. I was like, this does not look like a Destiny enemy, but Jesus Christ, dude.
We have seen enough. The children of Soul cry out for salvation. You promise them life, but deliver only death, as you have for so many before. Enough. Enough death. Enough life. You have no pieces left to place. The game is over. Do not be afraid. Your pale heart holds the key. This time, there is no escape.
Season of the Risen, Season of the Haunted, Season of the Pleasure, Season of the Seraph. The Traveler ascends into space. Rasputin sacrifices himself to prevent the Witness's forces from turning his Warzat network against the Traveler. Yeah, this was scary. When I saw the Traveler start to leave, I'm like, there's Crow. There it goes. It's like, alright, I'm about to leave now. I'm gonna head out. Give me the slumber. Sorry. The fact how they didn't announce that, like, that they did, like, acknowledge, like, oh yeah, so Saint Fortuna and Osiris are a gay couple, by the way. Like, I was like, that was such a surprise.
It's happening again. The whirlwind.
Eros.
Don't worry. The great machine will never abandon anyone again.
It's leaving. The Traveler is leaving. The Warsats.
Rasputin was so kind. I think I cried when I watched this. I think so. I don't remember.
If you care at all for our people, if there is anything left in your heart,
A lot of sacrifice.
make it known your pain. Anna, it's time.
For Reese.
Goodbye, Red.
It's so sad. It's sad because Rasputin was like such an interesting character to me.
Look.
We no longer have a Warmind with us. Very sad. And then this is genius. They made it the freaking cover art for Destiny 1. It was so fucking genius.
Why does it not flee? Because it has nowhere else to run.
It was so genius, honestly. So good. And then Lightfall. The witnesses arrived, threatening the city. The Traveler and all of Seoul, aided by its newest disciple, Emperor Callus, the witness aims to bring about a second collapse.
There are too many of them!
Vanguard to all units. Keep the enemy away from the Traveler. At all cost.
Amanda, I completely forgot that she died. We're losing too many good people. And real life people. Lance Reddick. Granted, the new voice actor, warm welcome to him. I forgot his name though. I know he's a very famous actor though. And then the Traveler responds. And probably makes my favorite looking, one of the coolest things ever. It's a ray of destruction, but also life. It's beautiful. But I love the fact that that beam inside the Witness's pyramid creates probably one of the coolest raids I have ever seen. Root of Nightmares. Not only do we go against the person who led the first collapse as the final boss, but also we get to see a different tree of silver wings grow.
Whatever that thing is, we gotta take it down.
This is scary though. Scary. She's fine, but then she dies later.
Going down. Multiple casualties out here. We need full fighting.
Bruh. Buffering.
Disciple, you know what must be done.
They found the veil.
We're in no position to engage the enemy.
We don't have a choice. We're out of time.
Osiris.
Don't die.
This was the bad thing about Guardian Osiris raised against the Emperor Callus and showed the Veil and Neomuna. The Guardians learn ways of the Cloud Stars, wield Strand, a new power of the darkness, and bring an end to Callus's reign. Like, dude, like that's the #1 problem that people had with Lightfall. What is the Veil? What is it? Why can't it connect to the light? Why can't it connect to the Traveler?
Rest now.
Love them.
The uglier they are, the harder
Them.
they fall, right? No? Come on.
We finally found you.
Get your coat.
What's wrong, Osiris?
Get your ghost out of there!
Finality takes shape.
It's creating the link!
At long last.
Destroy it!
You can't. Creates the link. But what does that mean? What is the veil? Maybe we learn in, you know.
What just happened?
We lost.
We just lost.
Zavala, come in.
Yeah.
The universe makes us all victim and perpetrator. That's infinite cruelty. You, more than any, suffer both fates. Be free.
What was the veil? What was it? Why did... I don't know. And now... And that's where it stands. Defiance seasons deep. After witness unexpected triumph and Lightfall, the Vanguard searches for the means to pursue the witness into the portal. I did not finish this, so the rest, if they show us a cutscene, I will have no idea what this is. So I have not seen this. I have not done the rest of the story.
Moved beyond our reach. All attempts to funnel it
I've seen this though.
have failed.
Season of the Deep. And now, Season of Redacted, the final shape. There's 2 seasons left. Let's go! Our journey continues. That is true. In no! Oh, no! No! I knew they were gonna do this. I'm not surprised. Oh. Yeah, rest in peace, man.
I've seen terrible things born out in the darkness.
Oh.
Oh my god.
They were gonna do it.
Ah! All ends and beginnings.
Battle stations. Alright, game over. Credits.
Ah! Professor Broman.
Holy crap.
That time we go to the moon.
Was that a darkest ship behind Okora?
Sir Happy Eris is back.
We are your
salvation.
Wait.
The line between light and dark is so very thin. Let's cross it together.
Oh god, so good.
This got me feeling
Yeah, that was awesome. Put the popcorn down, y'all. Oh, VTuber. Trevor just did a Death Star. That is true. I never thought of that.
What is he doing? No way!
Oh my god, Russ!
Yeah! 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Woo! Yeah, baby!
Y'all. Like many of you, I've been playing games as long as I can remember.
I'm more
They're
excited
a core
now.
Part of what makes me who I am. I believe there's this deeply rooted, often unstated mission of games to keep adventure alive. In 2014, Bungie set out to start a new adventure. Heroes awakened on a desolate planet. A silent god set in our sky. And it wouldn't be long before an ancient enemy, shrouded in darkness, showed up at humanity's door to destroy us. Over the years, our heroes would shape a story far greater than anything we could have imagined.
100%.
Players would explore deep into the depths of Venus, hunting a machine god that controlled time itself. They'd invent ways to combine their mythic weaponry and their paracausal abilities to stand alone against monsters that took others an entire elite squad. They'd race alongside their friends far into the early morning in the halls of an ancient city where only a select few emerged victorious at dawn, clutching the heart of a dragon. But most importantly, they'd bring their friends and their family into this world and together meet new faces on this adventure who would become lifelong companions. Now, together, we approach the final shape.
Let's go.
We're about to embark on the last expedition of Destiny's first saga. So let's be clear about the stakes. In the final shape, you will go inside the Traveler. The journey will be difficult. And what awaits you on the other side of this trek is nothing less than the deadliest entity we have ever faced. There will be no open betas. There aren't going to be any guides on the internet telling you how to handle what's to come. Whether you've been with us from the beginning, joined us somewhere along the road, or are looking at Destiny for the first time, anybody who shows up on launch day is going to be greeted with this same uncharted world. A vacuum-sealed experience begging for you to be the first person to peel it open. So today is your invitation to go forth and adventure.
Let's go. What do we got? What do we got?
After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back. Why you were chosen. The truth is, I didn't know then.
Gallahorn.
It was just a feeling. But I know now. After all we've seen, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
Huh? Wait, huh? Yeah! February 27th, 2024. The Heart of the Traveler.
This is a momentous time in Destiny history.
Raise my
We've
volume.
been building to this moment for the last 10 years.
The final shape is the conclusion to that journey. This is a moment in gaming that, as a developer, you just don't get very often.
Guardians and allies are fighting the biggest threat that the universe has ever seen in this big culmination of the Light and Darkness saga.
When we were thinking of what the final shape could be, it had to be a lot of different things. It needs to pay off this epic confrontation with the Witness that we've been setting up for years. It has to bring you closer to your allies in the Vanguard. It has to be this place that like makes you feel nostalgic for the entire journey you've been on.
When we were resurrected by Ghost at the very beginning of this story, we didn't know why, but it was for this. The Traveler is asking us for help. And it's our responsibility to protect every living thing in the universe from what the Witness intends to do.
When we first start the final shape, we are finally able to go through the portal that the Witness opened in the Traveler at the end of Lightfall.
Inside is the Pale Heart of the Traveler. That is the stage for our showdown with the Witness.
The Witness has the darkness. It has always had a connection to it. The Pale Heart of the Traveler is what it's trying to use to gain connection to the light. So with both, it can enact its final shape.
The Witness looks around and sees a lack of purpose, no meaning. It wants to fix all that. So it's trying to put the universe into this frozen perfection where everything's just exactly how it thinks it's supposed to be. That is the final shape.
Oh, that's scary.
If we're going to defeat the Witness, it's going to take everyone. Failure is not an option.
We're going to need the Vanguard, all of our allies, and all the Guardians to rally together and be brave in the face of Oblivion.
In the final shape, we're going to answer questions at the grandest scale. But what I find really interesting is that it's also a very personal journey where we deepen our relationships with these characters that we've known for so long. Zavala, Ikora, our Ghost, get to reconnect with Cayde 6. So, like, while there's this great conflict and everything going on around us and stakes of just unimaginable heights, it's still at the end a story told around campfires by a bunch of companions who have been fighting together for hundreds of years.
Let's go. Honestly. Let's go. Gameplay!
In the final
Pre-alpha.
shape, we're going through the portal that the Witness has opened up to confront it and stop the final shape. Inside the Traveler is this infinite, vast, unknowable.
That was the
everywhere
speaker's
on the
place.
Pale Heart, which is a fraction of really what is inside the Traveler.
The Pale Heart is weird. It's a little strange, it makes you feel a bit uncomfortable, and it is also just so cool and artistic in the best way.
The Witness entered well ahead of any Guardians, and so it's had time to kind of shape what's there. When our Guardian enters, the rest of the Pale Heart starts getting shaped also around what we've experienced.
This is the Traveler recreating the world in front of you as it saw on your journey.
One of the most
That's a giant
memorable
ghost.
locales from Destiny's past is the D1 Tower. It's really a labor of love.
Oh no! They did it!
To everyone who's building it, and I think players are.
Oh
really
no!
The Pale Heart is our very first linear destination.
That's a cool gun.
I would love it
But
if
they
players
did it.
felt that they began their journey in a place of safety and feel it escalate in danger, in surrealness. Because
That's scary, dude.
there is
But they
this
actually did.
beautiful
They're bringing the D1 tower into D2.
They see
Again.
things that are more and more wrong as they begin to go towards the Witness's monolith. It's kind of this omnipresent, foreboding thing off in the distance.
the weirdest things happen as you get closer to the monolith in the form of reshaping. Kind of like deconstructing things and putting them back together just wrong.
The sense of scale you get out there, like as you're exploring these spaces and you're jumping on these reshaped cuboids of Earth, you feel tiny as a Guardian. You feel alone. You feel like you are not the force to be reckoned with that you have been. You're not the God Slayer right now. You're just this little person jumping from these massive pieces to massive pieces.
One of the things that we really tried to also capture is that the Witness keeps throwing everything it has at you. And so you're going to fight these new enemies, the Subjugators.
Subjugators are the new unit you're going to be facing in the final shape. They have an enhanced power set. They're performing stasis powers and strand powers to face the Guardian, while in support of all the other enemies you're fighting too.
They bring something entirely new to the battlefield, which is kind of this element of control.
They're back there pinging away with stasis abilities, throwing crystals at you, freezing you in place, tangling you up.
Interesting.
We're focusing you on the campaign and only the campaign. It's the most important thing in the universe at that moment. You have to stop the final shape from happening.
And for that, we do need the help with our allies. And so we're going to make sure that the core Vanguard team gets back together. Zavala and Ikora and Cade.
The campaign is just the start of the Pale Heart. After you've reached the monolith and finished the campaign, we open up the entire destination. And so the entire Pale Heart is going to react to you and what you are doing.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
The campaign in the final shape doesn't really end with the final mission. The raids are where you defeat like the big bosses. So it's only natural that when you are going to confront the Witness, you're going to do that in the raid. But that might not be enough. This is a moment where we need to rally all Guardians to be able to overcome the final shape and the Witness.
It's the Cosmodrome. Those are Cosmodrome bridges. Harnessing the light. What do you mean by that?
In the final shape, we are inside the Traveler, very close to this energy. This allows us to have new supers, Arc, Solar, Void.
We want to create
new
something that turns
supers
into
already?
an offensive powerhouse, but also can benefit your allies in a support capacity. There is this thread of team play and like working with your friends to overcome the odds.
Oh, yes!
Is this ultimate expression of solar energy coursing through your Guardian. This Solar Warlock Super is a callback to Radiance from D1.
Other than Golden Gun, this is the only other first-person super in Destiny right now. Your melee's like all these projectiles going off, doubling the amount of projectiles. Your grenade almost being sentient.
Little Phoenix Bird!
And then it hits a character and bounces off and goes to another one. And you're so overflowing with this energy that you are also giving it to your allies, allowing them to have their solar weapons supercharged, applying Scorch when they're shooting.
The new Solar Warlock aspect. When I cast my Rift, it is going to create this little solar soul that when it sees an enemy, it launches part of itself out and hits the enemy and explodes and scorches them.
It just feels very alive.
No self-res though, but that's fine.
Twilight Arsenal.
Twilight?
It's a layered super.
This is the only ranged one-off offensive super for Titans in the game. The Titan jumps up into the air, summons this giant void axe, throws it, summons another one, throws it, summons another one, looks at a different group of enemies, throws it. And when these axes fly through the air, they stick into the ground, or an enemy do their void gravity thing where they suck a bunch of energy and enemies in and then explode. But that doesn't
There it
destroy
is.
the axe. The axe sticks around, and you and your allies can go and pick up that
No
axe and
way.
on enemies with it.
This super is insane to me.
The Void Titan aspect, I press and hold my grenade button to consume my grenade and turn it into the shield. The more damage it takes, the more it charges up, and then I can release that, and it creates this blast that deals massive damage.
That's cool. Oh, I love that.
The Hunter Arc Super.
Arc is all about finding the shortest distance between 2 points. The Hunter kind of rears back, takes this knife, and throws it across the world, and then is able to blink to its position, do the slash
That's
that
so
just
good.
decimates anyone nearby.
One really great thing about that is not just you do it once, but you're able to do it 3 times, along with devastating attacks each time you do it.
The Hunter has an aspect. We take our staff, we twirl it in the air, which propels us upward. It creates this burst, which amplifies you and any allies near you.
It almost makes it feel like you're playing a fighting game, right? Like these combos that you're chaining together to do these different moves. It like takes that sandbox to the next level.
The more
I love
we
it.
have, the more capable we are to do that.
It feels like you're like riding the lightning, you know? Like that instantaneous, like...
That was good, but I think it's more like...
The M2! Yes! 2 sound makers.
Weapons team has been working on all sorts of goodness. We've got exotics, we've got legendaries, we've got perks. We're always cooking up stuff. We're
How
always
many,
playing
though?
with stuff that we think is like really interesting or taking
How many?
inspiration. We have Tessellation, which is this exotic pyramid fusion rifle. It has the really intriguing property of adapting your Guardian's current damage type.
This will be the first time that you can run a weapon that can adapt to be strand or stasis in the energy slot. So you'll be able to run an entirely strand or entirely stasis loadout. Tessellation has the additional property that you can special reload to reshape your grenade and suck it into the weapon, and then fire out a super destructive single projectile.
That's
It's a really
cool.
special weapon.
What's the one specific exotic that I can make that's like really zany that you would like right now?
What if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle?
What if you could harness the might of the Traveler? You know, we had a moment where we saw that Traveler beam cutscene.
No.
People on weapons went, I kind of want that. You're like, that is incredible.
No.
I had this opportunity to bring back these iconic Destiny 1 weapons, but
Dragon's
really
Breath!
turn it into something that feels unique in Destiny 2.
Dragon's
We have to
Breath!
Bring Kvostov into the fold.
The Red Death
Kvostov!
rifle.
And Dragon's
Red Death! Please,
the world, burn it all.
please, please. No way that they're bringing Red Death and Kvostov back.
Broadening what existing weapons can be.
Really, like, bordering on exotic functionality. So, for example, we've got a rocket pistol sidearm subfamily. We always liked the special ammo sidearms. This fires tiny, slow-moving rockets. They hit very hard, do a bit of AoE damage.
Oh,
They have a
interesting.
mixture of regular weapon and rocket launcher stats. We're also doing a new support weapon subfamily.
The support frame auto rifle is a type of legendary auto rifle. It'll let you switch seamlessly from firing at enemies to healing your allies.
That's
I'm
cool.
really excited to bring it to dungeons and keep my team alive, honestly.
What will that be like in Crucible?
Weapons team is
Ba- ba-
always
ba-
coming up
ba-
with
ba-
new
ba- ba-
ideas. We've got a ton of new cool stuff coming over the next few years, and some new and really wild ideas, which we're pretty excited about.
Oh, I can't wait.
Come on, take a load off. We've got a lot to cover.
Yes!
This place is only big enough for one dashing hero type, and that's me, so... I'm back!
I'm back!
Hey, you two, give me a sec. I was magnificent.
You were. You still are.
Want a hug? Get
I would-
your rock off my map. Worst case scenario, you die. But who knows? Maybe you won't. Well, better get back to it.
In
this moment where we're driving to the end of the Light and Darkness saga, it's great to see Cayde like return to this world at this moment with all this change about to culminate with this confrontation with the long-standing enemy, the Witness.
Cayde is the quintessential hunter. His presence casts such a long shadow over the story of Destiny, whether it was when he was alive or when he was dead.
What Cayde goes through in this journey, how he serves as a catalyst for the other characters, the events that are uncovered to have brought him back. This is how the story had to end. There was no end to the Light and Darkness saga that didn't have Cayde here alongside his friends to finish the job.
You can't do that.
Once we started digging into the nature of the Pale Heart, I think that crystallized Cayde's role as a guide. Cayde is Virgil, and he's our guide through this other place. Cayde is the one who is the most appropriate person to be the guide, because that's his job. That's always been his job. It just feels so natural for Nathan to be back in the booth. It felt amazing to just see him slip back into the role, like, without missing a beat.
Right, instantly.
In the flesh, or metal, as it were.
Cayde's the glue that's always held Zavala and Ikora together. Having him back puts them in a position of questioning where they've been and what they've done without him.
You think about the journey that Zavala's been on and how he's been taken down this dark path, and you think about the weight that's been on Ikora, having to hold the Vanguard together, having Cayde's voice of levity and
comic relief
that he brings
be a really good
to that group. I think it's going to be great
stress reliever.
Well, at least we have each other.
We want people to take away that sense of reunion and that idea of like the gang being back together for this moment.
I'm here now. Wherever the hell here is.
I'm so happy. Unlocking the path.
Guardian, the Witness poses a dire threat. And the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend with her sister, Xivu Arath. It rests with me.
Will you come back from this?
Do not be afraid.
Bring me your tithes.
You now wield Hive magic and have entwined it with your light. Assault the Spire, Guardian, and open the way to our tithes.
That's cool.
Let them know fear.
The deck of whispers, and they do whisper. Fight in my name, Guardian. Every opponent you defeat strengthens me.
My appetite rises for your brutal trinkets.
Let us show her what it is to be Hive.
You have sounded the horn of battle! You are deserving of the greatest death I can bestow.
Season of the Witch. That's today. Today until November.
The Season of the Witch is our opportunity as players. We've been annihilating and breaking Hive spells, and now we finally get to cast them.
At the end of Season of the Deep, we learn that Savathun has the key to getting into the portal that we need to go into. That means we have to go find Imaru, her ghost. Imaru's like, not so fast. We've got a bigger problem first. And that bigger problem's name is Xivu Arath. If we fight her, she only gets stronger. Eris has an idea. It's a really
good
It's a wild ass idea, yeah. She determines like, well, the best way to fight fire is with fire. We are channeling all of that energy that we're creating by going through, by eliminating enemies, and we're tithing to our friend Eris.
Bring me
what does that mean for the characters and the player to kind of like be like Savathun? And that's where we went down the path of having Hive Eris. We want to extend that magical fantasy into the player then. That ability to have overwhelming magical power, that risk and reward into all of our activities and systems experiences. And so that's what led us to come up with things like Deck of Whispers. It's this magical deck of cards that creates amazing synergies with your buildcraft meta and with buffs and the activities.
They can then choose these cards at will, whichever ones they want, and then that really leans into the build crafting.
You actually are getting cards that you can then use to place on the battlefield and change the way you play.
That's
I'm
cool.
such a sucker for deck building. Like being able to like bring that element into Destiny gameplay.
I like
has just
deck
been, like,
building. That's actually really genius.
So we've got 2 brand new seasonal activities coming with Season of the Witch. We've got Altars of Summoning and Savathun's Spire.
Savathun's Spire is our new 3-player offensive. You're doing a lot more with Lucent Hive magic, but it's got a high amount of combatant density. It's got additional random encounters that you can come across.
The Witch's Spire itself, Savathun's Spire, is like her reliquary for all these different magical experiments as she was learning the light. You're there in order to learn as much as you can in order to become a master spellcaster, right? To become like Savathun. The Altar of Summoning's activity is really exciting because you can spend like 20 minutes in it or you can spend 2 hours in it.
It's a 3-player experience that you can hop in and hop out of. As you're going through this activity, you're filling the tithing bucket. As that tithing bucket is filled up, you'll get progressively more rewards. And then finally at the end, it'll cash out and you'll get a whole mess of rewards.
I like it. I like it. I like it very much.
Sure that there was a home for any exotic mission content coming in seasons after the year has passed. And so we developed what we're calling the Exotic Mission Rotator.
Right away, we're getting Presage, Vox Obscura, and Operation Seraph Shield.
This is some of the most fun content the team has making. It's some of the content that the fans and players of Destiny love the most. The most exciting thing, outside of just the missions themselves, is that every time we put a mission inside of that rotator, the exotic that comes alongside of it will become craftable.
Yep, there we go. Craftable exotics.
With Season of the
boy.
Witch, we have a brand new Vex lo-fi PvP map coming. It's really exciting.
Lo-fi?
It's got a bunch of really tight gameplay experiences.
Oh,
We wanted
it's
to
a new
make sure that
PvP map.
We focused the combat a little bit more. With the new Vex network map, we really wanted to make sure we hit is like, hey, you're shoulder to shoulder more often. There's not as much deep sight lines that you're interacting with. And a lot of the flow of the map is actually built around this like kind of central pillar of the Vex network that you're orienting around.
And there's also some modes coming too, right?
We've got a new PvP game mode coming that's all about relics. It's about multiple relics, so it's not just one like the Scorch game mode from the past. So we've got the shield coming from Vault of Glass, we've got the spear back from Season of the Risen.
And we got the scythe from Season of the Haunted.
Yeah, so you're gonna be reaping Guardians with that thing. It's a lot more tactical gameplay. It's all about running around the map, claiming these relic dispensers,
Hell
and then
yeah.
grabbing them in order to push for victory.
Hell yeah.
I will take what I need. The words in my throat are the weapon in my fist.
We were feeling pretty Hivey this season, obviously. There's something in the air. And so when thinking about like what's a good raid reprisal that would really suit this very Hivey season, there's only one answer.
What would that be? Yes! I know exactly what they're talking about. Let's go! Crota's End. I was like, what did he mean by that? Yep, there it is. Crota's End. And we get the old armor! You know I'm going for that. Hell yes. Certainly gonna be more difficult than Destiny 1. There it is, that Necrochasm. There it is. Yep. Open to all players, September 1st. It's relatively close. That's a cool ring. United we rise. What do you mean by that?
Heading into the final shape, we really want to rally all Guardians at the end of the Light and Darkness saga. We want to reduce those power barriers, as well as catch people up on key story beats and make sure that they have a really great and easy time connecting with other players. In the final shape, we're trying to find ways to make power more simple and easy to understand, and also lowering the barrier to entry.
It's going to make it easier for players who have not been able to jump into game easily because they were held back by the challenges in grinding for the power levels that are required by these different activities.
One of the major changes that's going to be happening starting with the final shape is there are going to be a certain number of activities that are going to be power fixed. So it doesn't matter kind of what power level you are going into it, you're always going to be able to approach it. There's still going to be tiers of difficulty that you can do, things that are just meant to be experienced a certain way.
Things like Nightfall strikes that will still have power enabled, and that's where we're really going to focus the whole power climb.
The raids, the contest modes that everybody loves to engage with, that experience is fundamentally going to be staying the same.
I'm excited for this because I think there will be a lot more clarity for players in terms of understanding the relative difficulty of things, where they sit now in the spectrum.
One way that we're trying to do that is making it easier for new players to engage with you. So we're introducing something that we're calling Fire Team Power.
You can actually bring your friends along to play any dungeons and raids in the game without having to wait them to be at a certain power level. The person with the highest power in your fire team is actually going to bring all the others close to their power level, which means that there's no barriers really for any other Guardian to join you in this high level.
That's super useful.
Finder, it also allows you to find strangers, people you've never played with before, and have that same experience. That's all regardless of the power level of you and the rest of the people in your fire team.
Fire Team Finder is the new feature that's coming in Season 23, aimed at helping connect and find other people to complete
LFG.
the most aspirational content in Destiny. We have a tag system that allows players to be able to say, well, this is my play style. I'm really chill. I'm anti-sweat. I'm just really here to have a good time.
Good.
Exactly.
Tags really allows players to show a little bit more personality, show a little bit more about what they're about. I think what's really great about it is with this launch, we're also looking at
emotes!
inclusion tags.
Emojis!
As an example, one of the inclusion tags that we have are for colorblind players. Hopefully the inclusion tags
That's
will
cool.
bring players closer to finding their community and even closer to the people that they're playing with. So once a listing goes live, players will be put into a listing lobby where players can gather, they can communicate with each other. So we wanted to make it as convenient and as easy as possible for players to not just sit and stare at a screen for a long time while their listing actually fills up.
As a gamer who's typically more solo, I'm especially excited about this because it really is about helping reduce that anxiety and burden that comes with trying to make a new connection.
That's fair. But that's cool. I like that.
The feature coming out today that I'm incredibly excited about is Timeline Reflections. Essentially what we have done is we went back to previous expansions and pulled out missions that we felt really represent key narrative beats within our story. We are going to have a mission for Forsaken, mission for Beyond Light, as well as a mission for Witch Queen.
Thanks for the memories, Guardian.
The neat thing about these missions is they're not going to be like one-to-one for how you would experience them in the campaign. You're also going to get additional pieces of narrative fed to you to like identify like, hey, this is why it's important that this happened, and here are the people you met.
That's cool. So they're kind of helping new players understand the story. That's cool.
This is a moment that a lot of players, new and old, are going to come back to Destiny. I think this is just the right time to introduce features that are going to allow those players to jump right in and find people to play with and enjoy this content regardless of their power level.
Okay. All ends are beginnings.
We're reaching the end of this 10-year journey. What comes next?
The episodes. And the new way we're going to tell stories moving forward.
What's really important about episodes is that it's a really big shakeup to what we've been doing. Instead of providing 4 seasons a year, you are going to get 3 larger episodes. And so the first 3 episodes in this coming year are called Echoes, Revenant, and Heresy. It's coming right after the final shape. And the theme for the year is going to be all about the consequences and aftermath of the final shape. I think what's really the cornerstone of the episode model that we're building is the 3-act structure. The acts act as these anchors for us to introduce new weapons, new artifact mods, new activities. There's going to be new missions coming around the core. There'll be new story moments in every single one of these acts. We're actually providing more cinematic styled experiences throughout the final shape year and the episodes with it than any of the seasons we've ever developed before.
I'm gonna be honest with you, that sounds like a great idea.
Playable as standalone. Like each episode is something you can experience whether you've been playing Destiny for 10 years or this is your first one.
You're going to be able to basically enjoy them in any order you want to.
I think the opportunity with this big epic moment is that we get to innovate the game. We get to move the game forward.
It's all about change.
I feel like that's a step in the right direction. More content in a shorter span.
More loot, more often. And it really provides the team with a platform to go much deeper into the themes and fantasies and story of any individual episode as compared to the seasons you know of today.
I'm so excited to see
Great
what the
idea.
narrative team can do with this kind of new platform of storytelling.
That honestly
Episode
sounds like a
provides
great
this
idea.
Awesome foundation for the future of Destiny.
We're moving into the next stage of Destiny 2. I think some people look at the final shape and they think Destiny 2 is coming to the end. And in many ways, it's the opposite. We're leaning in. We're putting the pedal to the metal. Episodes provide us a new, innovative way for players to engage with
Just hope it
Destiny 2
doesn't put too much stress on the Bungie developers.
What makes a guardian a guardian? Devotion, bravery, sacrifice. We know that we were chosen for a reason, by something greater than ourselves.
Guardian. Guardian? Eyes up, Guardian.
Shaped by the fires of each new battle, we are forged and sharpened into what we must become for the fight ahead. We are the final line that halts the second collapse.
All of us. Every Titan. Every Warlock. Every Hunter.
What is it the Guardians say? Devotion inspires bravery.
Bravery inspires sacrifice.
Sacrifice leads to death.
The line between light and dark is so very thin.
Let's cross it together.
There are things out in the dark that only the dark can overcome. Trust me.
You've heard the stories of the Traveler's sacrifice, of darkness descending upon humanity.
This time, there is no escape.
It's going to be an exciting year for Guardians. We get to make good on a promise that we made way back in 2014. There was classic rock blasting, a fire team racing across our solar system, and at the end, a simple message: become legend. Today, you got a glimpse at how we'll be cementing your legend in this upcoming year. We're going to be heading inside the Traveler, experiencing a destination unlike anything we've ever built before. We'll face the biggest bad we've ever made, and we'll do this all alongside a streamlined progression system, allowing us to easily play with friends in any content in the game. And as the dust settles in the final shape, we're going to continue our legends in Echoes. It's Destiny's first episode in a new phase of storytelling for Guardians, with brand new conflicts born from the resolution of the Light and Darkness saga. These first episodes are just the beginning. But if you're chomping at the bit to see how the Light and Darkness saga is going to kick off the future of Destiny 2, we've got a ton of great content for you to jump into today. Going live after this, we've got Season of the Witch, with a new story, new weapons, new armor, new activities, and new PvP content, all alongside a series of story catch-up missions, allowing any of your friends to jump into the game and get up to speed on what's happening in this world. Then, next week, a brutal reprisal of Crota's End is going to join the ranks of our aspirational content. I can't wait to see you all in the Throne World as we learn more about the final shape and how we can stop it.
Do not be afraid. Bring me your tithes.
After all these years, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you to rise one last time.
Collector's Edition reveal. Yo! I'm not going to be getting Collector's Edition, but I'm certainly going to be getting the deal. I'm certainly getting this DLC.
When we create a collector's edition, we try and recreate items from the universe for players to enjoy outside of the game. So this year we're doing a Destiny 1 tower. We really try to work hard at thinking about 10 years of Destiny and how best to encapsulate that experience.
Even as the game dev who've worked on it since day one, like I think having it be the tower is super exciting for us because it's going to kind of catalog your journey of a player from when you first started playing Destiny all the way to now.
Can I have some?
The tower, it's kind of like the beacon in which you're a place you can call home.
You get the tower, and then there are actual figures of the Vanguard mentors that accompany that
That's cute.
architectural model.
And there's a lot of like hidden messages and hidden things.
There's gonna be some fun surprises. We're always trying to push the envelope, and so we've been playing a lot with magnetic locks and sound effects, lights, just sort of make this experience as a whole
Secrets.
really special. It's sort of the perfect symbol of Destiny. I'm so excited for it.
Me too.
There's probably magnetic locks. There's definitely secrets. Post-show. Should I stay behind and watch the post-show? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But I'm definitely going to be watching a lot of reactions to this showcase and seeing all the higher-ups of Destiny content creators. See their opinions on this. Okay. I think we'll skip the post-show. But I'm ecstatic about that. And now let me go ahead. Let me open up Steam. I don't know if I have to. Do I have to update it now? I don't. Oh wait, I have to wait. I have to wait later. Okay, so with that, I will go BRB until exactly 1 p.m. It's 12:44 right now. It just turned 12:44. So I will see you guys later. I might check in every once in a while. I'll see you guys.
Hello Guardians, welcome to the post-show stream. My name is Taylor Liz. I am a Destiny 2 player and content creator. I'm excited to be here live at Bungie. We're gonna have 2 segments for you today. A little later in the show, I'll be playing
I
through
am
the
going to
brand
be
new
watching
Season of
the
Witch content with my good
post-show,
friend, Pika
and we'll.
Peach. Right now, let's sit down with Bungie developers to talk more about what we just saw and what's next for the future of Destiny 2. Pika, over to you.
Thank you so much, Taylor. My name is Pika, and I'm also a content creator and Destiny 2 fan. You can often find Taylor and I playing together in some sort of challenge in-game. I'm beyond honored to be sitting down with everyone here today, so let's do some more introductions.
Thank you, Pika. It's great to have you here. Hi, my name is Cosmo. I'm the lead community role here at Bungie.
Cosmo.
And my role is supporting our amazing community team and all the great work they do, helping prepare weekly check-ins and sending info out to our players. I'm going to be teaming up with Pika today, and we're going to be asking some of these guys some questions and go over some of the things that we didn't get to cover in the showcase. So, yeah, Dan.
Yeah, thanks. I'm Dan McAuliffe. I'm the general manager for Destiny 2. And that mostly means that I get to support all the amazing talent that makes this game. So thanks for sitting down with us today.
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
I'm Joe. I'm the game director on Destiny 2. And actually, while Taylor and Liz were doing the intro, I was hiding behind a pillar for the last 10 seconds. So y'all can like roll back the VOD and see if I did a good job or not.
Awesome. So let's
He
get
looks
into
so
some
weird
questions.
without his mustache.
As a player, what are you guys most hyped about regarding the final shape and beyond? Anything
probably
specific
say
you can
that as
call
well.
out?
For me, I'm really excited about the story. I mean, this is going to be like the epic conclusion to the Light and Darkness saga. Like, players are finally going to get to go into the Traveler, confront the Witness. Like, the stakes have never been higher. I'm just really excited to get to watch everybody play it out as soon as they can. Can we make it live right now?
I don't think so.
I tried. Anyway, what about you, Dan?
For me, I mean, it's a lot about the supers, right? Like, I just think we have this ability with these supers coming out to shift the meta in a really exciting way. And like, I just haven't played through them and gotten some hands on them. Sorry, like no spoilers, but like, I think they're going to play in all parts of the game. So I think you're going to see these in the campaign, obviously, but you're going to see these in PvP, and they really feel like that sort of pinnacle achievement of our Guardians journey in a lot of ways. So just really excited to see the final product.
Yeah, for me, I guess it's maybe surprising. It's the weapons. And I know, like...
Shock.
Yeah. We make a lot of weapons on Destiny 2, right? And so why are we excited about the weapons this time? I think the team sort of really looked and said, what's core to Destiny, right? Like, what's really important? And we said, hey, like, Destiny's at its best when you're getting a bunch of new weapons, and those weapons are so exciting that they are making it onto your character right away. They're like changing the way you play. So this is not just exotics, right? It's not just like, I think it was alluded to, like, what if Golden Gun was a sniper rifle? Pretty cool sniper rifle. I think it's also, we talked about these new,
that better be a heavy
subtypes,
honestly.
And so what's a
because then if that's a heavy, that would probably be one of the main DPS weapons when it comes to precision
damage.
damage.
A legendary, what
it's
needs
like Golden Gun
about it so we can make this thing that
as a
feels
sniper
as useful to a fire team as someone bringing Galloway.
That's definitely going to be a
As useful
DPS
as
weapon.
Someone, you know, bringing Divinity.
Unless
right?
it's
We
nerfed
know
to the
that's
ground,
bar
which it
that
probably
we're
will
looking
be.
at. So we're looking at a bunch of different things and saying, okay, we're gonna make these guns and we're gonna make them matter, right? We're gonna go out and you're gonna get awesome stuff on, you know, the Pale Heart. I think we showed a little bit of it. There's like these sweet, they look like a deck of cards. If you go back and watch the footage, and there's a bunch of awesome stuff coming in the weapons. And so I think we're really just trying to hit that core, like, hey, we're a loot game, right? Like, the loot should be awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, me too. So speaking of the Pale Heart, the reveal, it was said in the reveal that the Pale Heart destination is the first linear destination ever done. So can you talk us through why it was decided to make it more linear destination?
All right, linear.
And
like,
what it means.
Yeah. So
the math lesson now.
Yeah, not sure how many folks have been in algebra recently, but if you're like me and need a little refresher, linear.
Please.
Line, right?
Walk
like
me
that's
through
what
it.
we're saying here. So a classic Destiny
Clever.
destination, we think of it as a loop, right? There are these big public areas. They're all connected in a circle. And then from those areas, there's little offshoots. There are little alleyways that you can go to. And that just didn't make sense for going inside the Traveler. One, because the Traveler is huge. When we talk about the Pale Heart, we're saying, you know, like, hey, what if you were an alien, you landed on Earth, and the only part of Earth you saw was like a parking lot in Montana. And you were like, oh, this place is huge, right? Like, and so we're like, okay, so we're gonna show you a really small slice of what is inside the Traveler. And then we said, it needs to feel like you're going somewhere important. It's a vast, unknowable place. Okay, well, on one end, we've got the portal. And on the other end, we've got the Witness that's built this giant monolith. And so every single area that we've built is built in a consecutive line from one to the other. So you
That's
travel
interesting.
through these things and you can look back at once more. And if you need to go to the next part, you're not going into these offshoots that dead end. You are going to where you need to be going. It's really focused on, hey, you've got a job to do here.
So it's like tracking your journey.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Okay, cool. Well, that sounds insane. So, super different.
That's what we go for.
During the showcase, it was also mentioned that completing the campaign would unlock the full destination and that it almost like reacts as we progress. Is that kind of what you're hinting at, or can you explain that a little bit more?
Yeah, so I think two things we want people really to come away with thinking when they think about. One, this is a bit different in the way that you experience the Pale Heart right away. So normally you might land on the throne world and you do a mission and then you're out with your Sparrow exploring the throne world, doing the missions if you want to. Day one of the final shape, you got a job to do, right? And so it is mission, mission, right? And you just go through and you say, hey, we've got to stay focused on this thing. when you get to the end of that day one experience, everyone can sort of like collectively take a breath, collect themselves, and then you just this realization like, oh, we're like inside the Traveler, right? Like we should probably go see what that's about.
Right.
And so the whole destination unlocks for you. And there's a lot of things that are different about the Pale Heart than our other destinations. I think we're gonna save some of those juicy tidbits for what's different about this destination and how it sort of compares to what we've done in the past. But yeah, it's a pretty different experience than even what you might expect in somewhere like the Dreaming City.
And for real, like we do want to save some of these juicy tidbits, not just because it's fun, but because like, I mean, the Traveler's just been this inscrutable godlike sphere that people have wanted to know more about for so long. And like, this is their opportunity to experience some of that mystery. And I'm excited to see how that plays out.
Well, it's alive, right? So what can we really expect?
Yeah, I think, we talked about this, we showed a little bit. The section that you're in, it's shaped off of who's there, right? And so who's been there?
So cool.
The Witness, right? The Witness
messing stuff up.
Yeah, chilling right there. We're trying to knock on the door. We don't know how to get inside. And we're gonna make it eventually. And so it's got this both really unique aspect to it, and a bunch of the geo looks like stuff that you've never seen before. A bunch of these places feel like, this heaven on one side, hell maybe in the middle, crazy Destiny surrealness at the end. And then there are these accents of like, God, I'm at like a crazy heavenly beach. And then you see this giant ghost carved into a mountain, or you see the D1 tower erecting out of this. And so, we're really excited to sort of give people this like distilled Destiny experience that still feels really new when you're in there.
Wow, it's amazing.
So Dan, we've got feedback from players who wanted to learn more about the origins of the Witness and the Veil during the Lightfall campaign. Rather than wait until like later on in the seasons. So players have big narrative expectations for the final shape. How are we taking this feedback and making this the epic conclusion that this first saga deserves?
Oh yeah, no, I mean this is the sort of fun of the challenge for this, right? Because the Light and Darkness saga has been such a focal through line for really most of Destiny's existence, right? Like it is this epic story. Joe was just talking about, some of that sort of culmination of experience inside the Pale Heart. And so this is a spot where we have to really land that culmination in a satisfying way, right? Like there's a confrontation that's been happening. There's a story that's been being told. This part of the Destiny world, we have to end really well, and the players deserve that, and the story deserves that. And so there's some things we're doing to account for that. But in addition, we have to set up the next set of stories. We're going to talk probably more about episodes in a bit, but like starting after the final shape with the new episodes framework that we're rolling out, we're going to tell all different stories, and we'll learn more about the world of Destiny moving forward. So that's the unique challenge that we are taking very seriously. And to accommodate that, we've done more, I think, on the narrative side of the fence than we've even done in the past. More significant writers' rooms. We brought in more folks from even other parts of the studio to really kind of consult on this and make sure that all of our fans who probably know the Destiny lore better than I do are getting the pieces and answers to the questions that they want answered, unless we want to save some of those questions for the future stories that we're going to tell. Right. There's more to it that you and the team have been doing as well, if you want to talk to that.
Yeah, probably to steal a little bit from Cosmos and Pika's questions and give them the note card shuffle here in a minute. I think one of the things that we knew that was going to be challenging about this is, hey, we're telling the climax of the story. We know that, hey, when you get in the final shape, in those first moments, we want you to feel like, okay, Bungie delivered on this promise, of becoming legend, delivered on like, really putting a bow on the Traveler and Pyramid story. The thing that was also important for us is like, okay, well, you're gonna like confront the Witness, like the biggest bad in Destiny. Okay, we think you have to confront the Witness in the raid, right? Like a version of Destiny's chronological history where like the Witness was tough, not quite as tough as Valka-Or, right? Like it's probably not a thing that our players are gonna be super happy about, not a thing I'm gonna be happy about. And so what we really think is this day one experience is sort of like the penultimate episode, or the right before the season finale of your favorite TV show, and it really sets the stage for, hey, this is exactly what's going on in the world of Destiny. The stakes have never been higher. You go through a pretty epic journey, and then we say, okay, now we have to have this raid beat. And so it's sort of a reverse Taken King. If some of our people remember that moment in the Taken King, we delivered a thing where, hey, day one, for 80% of our players, they're like, I dealt with Oryx. And then for like 20%, there was this other thing that they could go do, have another experience with Oryx.
Right.
And so for this one, we say, hey, we want everyone to go really set up what's happening in the final shape. And then for everyone, right, and we're not going to get into that, right, you should all wait for the raid, right? Like, and we're going to like help make sure everyone is brought along for the end of this journey. I think it takes a lot of our learnings from both really classic experiences like Crota and Oryx and sort of infuses them with what we've been doing with things like Savathûn and Callus, and like taking all that lessons and saying, okay, we think we can do this the right way.
Yeah, and also just for something like this, when you complete the circle of this story that we've been telling, we want to make sure that we're paying homage to the things of the past, and we're talking through just so many of the things that have made this story what it is, but also telling it in a way where if you're coming into the final shape as your first experience, you can enjoy the mission, you can enjoy the campaign, you can understand what is happening.
Right.
But there's just a lot more if you have almost a decade's worth of Destiny play knowledge that you can look at.
So it kind of sounds like that means I have to play the raid to get the full story?
No. Now, while we're really excited about something like Fireteam Finder coming in and making it easier for anyone to get into the raid and experience those beats, yeah, I think the different part from our strategy startup as in the past was we said, hey, there's something more for those who raid. There is a piece of the story, right, that is told in the raid. There's a piece that's essential. But it is definitely not going to be a moment where only raiders get to see the end of Light and Darkness Saga. Right.
Okay. Well, that's good.
So we carefully skirt around 1,000 plot points here.
So we showed a glimpse of the new enemy, the Subjugators. Are they going to be as terrifying as the Tormentors? Like, what sets them apart from previous enemies?
Yeah, we were running through some questions yesterday, just like this. Spoiler alert: we do practice a little bit. Like we do think about this. And I got in trouble because I said several obscenities last time I did this. So I'm not gonna do that today on stream.
Who scolded you?
It could have been anyone. It could have been anyone that scolded me.
Okay.
And so I've been playing a lot of the Final Shape recently, probably surprising to no one. Subjugators are very different than Tormentors. Tormentors are sort of like this Kool-Aid man that busts through the wall and is like saying, hey, all right, well, look at me, right? Oh, okay. And Subjugators for us, they come out in these moments where you feel like you have a battlefield full of enemies, and then you hear the pyramid screech sound.
There's a sound.
And a Subjugator beams in, and it's like they're the ultimate sort of backfield tactician, right? And they're doing things like giving everyone around it little pyramid buddies. Like you've been shot in PvP with an Arc Soul. Like imagine 10 taken Scions, and suddenly a Subjugator says, what if you all had little pyramid buddies? And you're like, oh, thanks, Subjugator, right? And so there's still these moments where you're like, you might want to just hold on to your super. You might want to hold on to some heavy ammo when you're playing through the campaign, just in case this busts through. I think one other thing that we've really learned from both Tormentors and Light Hive is sort of building these sort of like captain-y units. Things that feel scary. And we're very careful in both Witch Queen and in Lightfall to make sure, hey, we don't want
obviously it's going to be like,
to
oh yeah, maximum capacity.
Like, kill 20 Light Hive.
Yep, there it is.
Everywhere. And I think we're striking an even better balance now that we have a palette of these captains where it feels like, hey, I'm getting these like really meaty sandbox experiences. And we know how to sort of engage them in both the destination and the strike and the mission. So I'm really happy with a bunch of the learning the team has been taking as we continue to make these things.
Oh, totally. Yeah, my super basic take from having played it is that like, and I didn't know how this was going to play out until I experienced it. Joe described it really well, but it's what I want from these units as a player is I want that moment of ha ha, ha and insert obscenity here so Cosmo doesn't yell at me.
Right.
But like, and the Subjugator absolutely delivers that in the same way that I felt from the Tormentor, and the same way I definitely felt the first time I saw the Light Hive. But it's just, to Joe's point, it's a very different way, right? Like it is, when it comes out, like I'm just as terrified and worried for myself and my fire team, but for different reasons,
right?
And with different tactics, and you have to approach them a very different way. So I think it feels very good to me, at least as a player.
Why am I already nervous?
Because whatever he just described, what you were picturing, is probably lighter than what's actually going to happen. Like
great.
Fury Buddies are Arc Souls, and
Yeah.
to say.
I'm picturing some, okay.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous. Okay, so Dan, this is for you. Your favorite, or everyone's, not yours, everyone's favorite hunter, Cayde 6, is seemingly back from the dead. Can we get a little bit of the story on that?
I mean, I'll happily take this one because I love talking about Cayde. I mean, here's the reality. We've been talking about this all coming full circle, and Joe was talking about the campaign as mission. You have a mission. There's a thing that has to happen. And like, both as players and developers, it was just hard to picture finishing this fight without Cayde 6, right? And so we brought Cayde 6 back, and you're gonna get less details than you want, but Cayde 6 is back for this fight, and it was super important to us as you go through to have Cayde 6, Zavala, Ikora, on comms talking through, and I think the most critical part of that is it's Cayde 6 with Nathan Fillion, and I don't know about everybody else, but like Joe and I were talking about this yesterday, and I think Joe said it really well, which is, like when you're playing through the builds as you're going through, and the moment Nathan's line started actually coming through recorded, man, it just hits different, right? Like it just changes the dynamic for me as far as like what I feel about what's going through, the sort of complexities of the story. But the part that's important, I think, to know is that like, this is Cayde. Like Cayde is back, Cayde is with you on this journey, he is your guide through the Pale Heart.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff that we're not gonna talk about just yet because I want players to experience it, but yeah, anything more you want to add there? It's exciting.
No, we'll probably say this a few times. We were like, what's the final shape? How are we going to do this? What's really important? We really wanted to make sure that this experience felt like the most distilled version of Destiny.
Yeah.
Like it's Destiny dialed up to 11. It is the like Destiny extract that if you were baking with, you only need a few drops. Like this is very potent. For us, we knew, hey, we've been planning this narrative roadmap out for a long time. We were like, okay, we know we need to make the best of this moment that we have with Cayde here. But I think it was really, again, as the VO starts to come in and you're in these missions, you're like, that's like Cayde 6 talking to me.
gosh.
And even, I wouldn't say everyone's favorite hunter. I mean, Eris Morn might have something to say about that. But yeah, it really starts to be like, okay, yeah, this is that distilled Destiny experience.
Yeah. I'm now picturing Destiny extract on the Bungie store. I don't know what it's for,
I think
but
you got something here, actually.
Yeah.
You could bottle this.
Yeah. Not sure what it smells like.
Good point.
I don't even want to speculate.
Yeah, just stop.
So we've been talking about Final Shape. Let's talk about episodes. We've seen some feedback from the players that the seasonal model has gotten a bit predictable at times, and we just saw in the showcase our content cadence is getting refreshed with this episode model. Can you talk us through what episodes are and how they're going to be different than seasons?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, let's start with sort of what episodes are at their core, right? I think the easiest way to think about episodes is the natural evolution of the seasonal model. Because the seasonal model's done a lot of great things for Destiny. I think we've run seasons for the better part of 3 years at this point, and it has allowed us to deliver really quality experiences at a 3-month, very fast cadence, really move the story forward. I think we've told some great stories, introduced some new activities, new mechanics, really moved everything forward. The problem is, and if we're being honest with ourselves, and I'm going to be honest with ourselves, we really bias towards consistency to do that, right? Like we wanted to deliver it quality, we wanted to deliver it on time, all the time to the player, but that made the experience somewhat repetitive. Like almost sort of by design in a certain way, which is now I think stretched out to the end of its utility. So episodes change up the framework and change up the delivery cadence. So there are 3 episodes a year. The first one will start alongside the final shape, and parts of it will start a little bit after. We can touch on that in a sec. But these 3 episodes are split into 3 acts each. And this means two things, really. One, that now what you're really looking at is 9 beats a year that are 6 weeks apart. And each of these beats gives us an opportunity to materially change the state of the game, to materially move the meta forward, introduce new story, introduce new weapons, new perks, new activities. And it doesn't have to be so formulaic. So it allows us to do what I think Destiny does really well, which is get a little weird at times. It allows us to, like, you know, I have some really bad baseball metaphors I'm not going to use, but like throw some curveballs into.
You just said you weren't going to use the baseball metaphors.
No, I didn't use the bad one.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a good one. I can get really deep with this metaphor, and it's going to be interesting to about 4 people, so we're not going to do that. But like, it allows us to react more to, you know, what else is going on in the game. It allows us to change up the way we look at content delivery in a way that I think is just strictly better for all of us who are players, right? Like the 6 weeks in between major beats, I think is a really good way for players to, you know, play Destiny in where, you know, within their own lifestyle, how it fits into the white space of their life. I think it allows us to introduce different things, to try some different things. Like I said, make it weird and really start to experiment in a couple of places because of not everything has to be there all at once, right at the top. Right. So I think what episodes allows us to do is to not only continue telling stories in a new and pretty interesting way, but it also allows us to just really amp up the variety of the types of things that we can bring and when we can bring them into the game, which I think is just going to be a great experience.
Absolutely. What does that mean for the reward track?
Yeah, so one of the most interesting things that we're doing with episodes is probably how they start.
Okay.
So for us, again, we've talked a lot. It's like pretty important that when the final shape is happening, everyone in the universe is saying, you know what's important? This whole thing that's going on in the Traveler right now. We've got to stay really focused. So we wanted the episodes to be a reaction to what happens when the final shape resolves, right? And so this means both. We don't want to tell a competing story at the same time. Okay. And we want, hey, once the first episode kicks off, for it to be in the context of what happens in the final shape. So the majority of the narrative content, the activity content, really when the episode begins, happens that reset after the raid. However, right away, we know there are some systems that just need to be online. So the reward track, you're going to be able to get Red Death, log into the game, claim it from the past. I've been using it a lot in playtests. It's a solar weapon. Can I say that? So
ooh!
Yeah. Someone from the weapons team is like, oh, I just said it was a solar weapon. And
solar
yeah,
weapon Red Death. Let's go.
Few stuff that you're going to be able to get.
We get
from the episodes themselves.
I could see the meme now of like Red Death and then Crimson right behind it, and then Red Death saying, "Don't talk to me or my son ever again."
I think it's the kind of thing that people are going to be like, "Oh, I might bring this to the Rage World First Race." And so we're excited for both having some of this content available right away, but keeping that meat of that narrative, keeping what's important for the story and the world of Destiny to say, no. We're going to say everyone's on the same page when this kicks off. If you are in episode 1, you're hearing those lines of dialogue, you're getting those story beats. Everyone is saying, "Okay, we all just saw what happened, right? Like we were all there for that." And like, yeah, we were.
And nuts and bolts wise, so episodes, we're still going to run season passes alongside episodes.
Good.
And so before, where it was a season pass specific to a season, now it's actually going to reset at every act. So you'll have 100 ranks for the first act of each episode, and then 50 additional will be added for each subsequent act. So 200 ranks throughout the course of an entire episode.
Okay.
And that length actually allows
interesting
to add some more stuff to it, right?
Yeah,
okay.
We want to make sure that those additional ranks in Act 2 and Act 3 are really rewarding, and so we've both learned from our players, like, hey, we really value this. Can we get more of this? And so, like, great, we got that. And then we're also just going back to some old experiments. One of the things I'm really excited about is, in the 30th anniversary, we tried this experiment. We're like, we're going to give everybody a tiger helmet, right? And it's like silver, and it glows, and I'm like, yeah, and Hunters, Titans, Warlocks, they can all wear it. I'm like, maybe we should do that again. Maybe that should be what's on the very end of the pass, where you, not only is there, you know, a unique armor set, but at the end you can be like, hey, and I was there. I did the whole thing right now. I got like this awesome helmet, and everyone wears
That
the
would
same
be
thing.
good, because
So
I love
we're
that.
excited to be taking a lot of learnings and,
What?
and pushing this and saying, okay, I think we've made a thing that players are gonna be able to sink their teeth into and feel rewarded from and be excited about.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having like a unique reward to an episode. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
Well, you answered the question about 2 separate narratives, so we don't need that card anymore.
Good.
What about the artifact, like the perks? Like, are players going to have a different experience there, or are they going to are they going to get the same kind of like day one, or?
Yeah, so day one, you're going to see something that looks exactly what you expect the artifact to look like, right? It's got the same amount of rows and columns. We've really been honing in on how to like make each artifact feel different. What's going to happen though is when Act 2 rolls around, some magic space appears at the top of the artifact and a whole nother row appears.
Nice.
And so this is not meaning you're going to get less in Act 1. You're going to get the same amount you're used to. But Act 2 brings another row. Whole new ways to modify the game. And Act 3, another row on top of that. So we really want these acts to feel like, hey, it's not just that we're bringing new activity content in. It's not just that we're bringing new narrative content in. We are shaking up the meta. There's new rewards. There's new ways to play. There's new nightfalls in the rotation. Right? All of this is sort of what we're pitting out. It's like, yeah, we love this idea of, you know, players finishing the final shape, an episode kicking off, and then just being a few weeks away from like, wait, Act 2 is like weeks away? And you're like, yeah, it's like it's right around the corner. And then they're in Act 2 and like, oh, Act 3 is weeks away? Yeah. Like, how can we make sure that Destiny always feels like it's changing and evolving?
Yep.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be like really refreshing more often. But can you tell us what happens after the first 3 episodes? What's next with Destiny 2?
So the episodes are our new storytelling framework. You're gonna get less information than you want, but they allow us to really move the story forward in different ways. And so one of the things that we want to experiment with is, can we make some of these episodes more standalone stories? Do they have to all interconnect? Can you play them in specific orders, things like that? And so, after the episode 3, the intention is to continue rolling episodes forward and keep telling different stories and take whatever learnings that we get from the first 3 episodes and start to evolve the framework.
Yeah, and I don't think Dan's gonna kill me here, but we'll see. So maybe keep the coffee cup out of his hand.
I'm waiting for a spit take.
We've got a lot of people. Most of them are at home. I was gonna point to the other side of the office. Most of us work from home now. That are working on Destiny 2 and are going to still be working on Destiny 2 after the final shape. And so,
I'm not gonna kill you for that.
It is true. It is not just episodes. Like, we know there's a bunch of content and there's different ways that we can get that in the player's hand. And those folks still want to make that content, like the awesome stuff that we're sort of known for. And so, again, we'll be a little coy here today. But yeah, just to go back to what Robbie was saying, like, hey, we got some more tread on the tires here, and we're excited to show you where we're driving.
Yeah, and again, to what we were saying before, we think the episode model with the 3-act structure allows more like flexibility for us to make some of that cool content and make some different content. And I think the team is pretty excited about that too.
So episode 4. Maybe, who knows?
You know, you got to find out what happens in the first 3 episodes.
All right, so...
All right, here's the entire story. No.
All right, well, I cracked the code. What are some changes that are coming that will make it easier to get my friends in the game?
There's a ton. I mean, there's a ton. So we'll go through some specifics, but like finding ways to make it easier for people to group up and play together and improve that experience was a pretty big focus for the last 1.5 years and moving forward. I'm thinking with Joe on time because, you know, time's hard, especially in quarantine. But
so we got Fireteam Finder coming in season 20.
Absolutely, yeah. But even before we get into the specifics, like Destiny's just better when you're playing with friends. It's better in groups. It's better with a fire team. And so being able to build that fire team and being able to play the best content is the sort of overarching goal for what we're trying to do. And yeah, so we got Fireteam Finder, we got Fireteam Power, we've got Timeline,
Reflections.
That's
we probably got another scoop or two. I'm making sure that Kelly isn't opening that door to run over and tackle me before I give.
There it is. There's the update.
Season 22. Oh, we can say Season of the Witch now. Season of the Witch.
That's right.
Today is coming out with a thing that we sort of call like the main quest update. This is an update to your quest page, where we're like taking over that front page and saying, hey, this is the big quest, and here's another quest that's important. And so we think super important for our new players that get inundated with a ton of content to go see. And they're like, wow, what are my friends focused on? Can I make sure that's out? This is great for them. It's also great for people that are already playing Destiny and the like, okay, I finished day 1 of the final shape, and you're like, I got a lot of, which ones are the important ones, right? Which ones are first? And so there's a group of, you know, a big group of developers here who are always looking and saying, okay, what's the next pain point for Destiny players?
Sure.
And so we're really excited about Fireteam Power. I think it's going to both be a way that for engaged Destiny players to still really care about getting their power up and their light up, but also allow, you know, I've got friends that haven't played Destiny in a while, and I would love to just say to them, hey, just get in the game. Whatever guns you have, you're gonna group up with me, we're gonna do the dungeon.
Yep.
We're gonna go play PvP, we're gonna go do this thing, and you're gonna be able to enjoy yourself. And there's still this incentive for them, like, okay, well, I'd rather be not.
Why is the update pause? Why does it keep pausing?
Beat me on the damage tables, right? Like, let's get, let's clear that gap. But for a bunch of people that want to come back and play with their friends, I think we're doing a lot here. We're excited about Fireteam Finder as well. Like, I think there's going to be this whole new influx of Guardians in Season 23. They're going to be like, Last Wish. So what's that all about, right? Like, I've heard some things. There's a dragon there. Let's go. Let's just go check that out. And I think it's a big precursor to what we want Destiny to be. We want to stop hiding our best content by a bunch of walls behind people and say, no, come in here, experience this. There's a lot to chase, even after you access the content. So let's make it easier to access the content.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing for me. Is just that, like, I want an experience for Guardians between Fireteam Finder and Fireteam Power, and where you can come into the game and be like, I heard that's the best content in the game. I want to be able to go play it, and be able to go play it. Right?
Are you this tall? Sorry.
Yeah, you can't ride the ride. Exactly. Like, I feel called out. But in all seriousness, like, that's the goal behind all these systems, and I think Joe painted a really good picture of why it's so important for the really, you know, top end players to really want to go and keep themselves as
Joe Mama,
have all the weapons and all that stuff, even for that content. But give those other players the ability to try it, because I think that's
put this
where
in the
Destiny's
fridge.
And we didn't talk a bunch about this, but you know, we know that Guardian Ranks has done a bunch for our new players this year in helping them get through and onboard the systems. But Guardian Ranks wasn't able to solve, like, okay, I understand what a mod is, but who are these people? Who are the Hive? Who is Cade 6? Everyone keeps talking about Cade 6, and so Time on Reflections. We're not going to put Vife out of business anytime soon, but getting that experience in game to be able to go, hey, I want to go to the timeline. I want to read a thing. I can watch a thing. Oh, and then I can play a thing, right? Like, it's one thing to hear about Cade. It's another thing to play with Cade. And I think that for, you know, a bunch of our new players, it's going to be an exciting way to experience some content. And I think even some of our older players are just going to be like, you know what I want to go do today?
A little nostalgia.
I want to go hang out with Cade 6 in a prison.
That's right.
I like it. So can you kind of explain how Fireteam Power works for us?
Yeah, so there's two ways that we're really thinking about power in Final Shape and beyond. One is what we're calling power fixed activities. And so this is stuff like free roam destination, the regular strikes queue, the base power of an exotic mission, right? Which we're really excited, like, we want to build more Seraph Shields, we want to build more Presages. And so for a bunch of this, we're going to say, even if you don't have a friend, right, go into this, bring whatever you want. We've adjusted the difficulty for it to just feel good to play, right? And so we know you want to go around the destination and be able to one-shot dregs with the hand cannon. We also want the destination to put up a little bit of resistance and to feel like maybe I can't be shot by 15 dregs. And so, like, we're dialing in that power, but we're saying, okay, this is a great, like, base experience. For the story of Final Shape, that experience is power fixed. So you're going to get power upgrades, but you don't have to equip them, right?
Right.
Then post that, or say, hey, we've got a bunch of power-enabled activities too. This is the aspirational stuff, the raid, the dungeon, trials, right? For this, say, okay, I care about power. And so we've got an employee that we like to pick on here, a guy by the name of Matt Noguchi, who is a very hardcore Destiny player. I think that I'm a hardcore Destiny player, and then I look at my friends list, like, how is his pass level this high, right? Like, and so we still want to say, hey, you know, you feel like you're rewarded and engaged, but you can go into Nightfall and let's say, hey, you've been out across the world doing good deeds. You weren't able to play Destiny for the last 3 months. You come back and say, you know, I like Destiny, but what I really like are dungeons, really like are raids. Okay, get in Matt Noguchi's fire team. Anyone that's in, you know, a pre-made fire team, whether you made this fire team in Fire Team Finder or whether you made it from your friends list, it's gonna look at, say, who's the highest fire team, like who's the highest power level, and then it's gonna take that and say, you know, we're dialing the numbers. I think right now it's 5. It might be 3. I'm gonna say, okay, everyone in here, 5 below, no matter what. Now, if you're close on that, great. We're gonna respect your power. But no matter what guns you have, no matter what armor you have, we're gonna say, hey, we're gonna take this all up. And so you don't have to worry about, hey, I don't have the new stuff that I need. Instead, I'm like, hey, go play the raid and then go get the new really good raid weapons, right? Like that's the thing we want you to be caring about. Not that you can't step in the content at all, right? Focus on the optimization, not on the requirement.
So I can load in with the green loadout?
You want to. I mean, listen, I put on some armor that can't take resistance mods, and that's a bold choice.
But doable.
But doable, yeah. We will not, so I'm sure we'll see some wacky raid clears that are like, I did it all in the Broken Parade set. And they're like, you certainly did.
That sucks for you.
Yeah. What about with trials? It's like the one kind of like PvP thing that
yeah, so we know there are some important reasons to keep power on in trials and really try to keep that a fair playing field. And so right now it's power enabled, and we're going to have a switch where we're going to say, hey, we're going to test out fire team power in this, because one, we want to make sure that we keep that experience in a good spot. Two, like it is an experience where
that's interesting. Also, Shane, dropped frames. What the fuck?
Master with Golden Gun, but he plays Destiny off and on. I would love to be able to say, Shane, we're playing trials this weekend, and I know you haven't played in a while. Please just put the client back on, get inside, and him just be able to go. And I'll have better weapons, I'll have better armor, but he's still gonna pop Golden Gun and get us 2 kills every time. And so I think we do want to still have that, you know, experience for even at the high end of PvP. We just want to make sure we do it right. And so it is something that we are walking in carefully and saying, okay, we're gonna try this, we're gonna test it. If it doesn't work, we're gonna find a different solution.
Yeah, and specifically, we're gonna like we want us to have room to experiment. And so I think Joe's right, where we'll start off with it power enabled. Sometime during the episode, we'll flip that switch, and we'll communicate that out, and we'll make sure everyone's aware that it's coming, and we'll see how it goes. And if it goes really well, you know, we'll figure out what to do with that next. And if it doesn't, we'll figure out if there's something else we need to try differently. But yeah, so I'm excited to see if it gets more variety of players into trials and more people who didn't feel like they could do it before give it a go, which would be interesting.
That sounds great. So kind of on that note, the in-game LFG has been an ask for a long time. Can we talk about the Fire Team Finder experience a little bit more?
Yeah. So this is probably, I'm a big LFG user. Like when someone's like, Joe, we want to raid this time, this day. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing that time. My desired raid experience is that I log in and I say, I have, you know, an hour, I have 2 hours, and I'm like, I want to raid right now. So I'll go to my friends list, and if I don't have friends on to play with, I will go to one of the community-run LFGs. And there are so many great services out there that do this.
Right.
But for a bunch of players, they don't understand that exists. They don't have access to this. It can be a pretty big hurdle to just be like, hey, I'm just looking to do the, you know, legend version of this activity. I wish I could just go in game and say, I'm not quite comfortable with match-made people, but if I can get you in a group with me and we can talk about it, you know, can we make that fast? Can we make that so I just like, hey, what do I want to do? Okay, I want to do the new seasonal activity. I want to do Legend, and you can pick even at this stage. You can say,
let's see if
just
it works
give me
now.
people, and we'll go right away. Right? I'll take the random draw. You can also say, no. Give me people, and I want to be able to approve or deny them when they come in. They say, hey, is someone you want? Okay,
So
yeah.
free acrylic?
We talked in chat. I don't think you're the right person. We're gonna wait until we get the people that we want. And so, it's really about striking this balance of both being customizable for folks that are like, I'd like to do a teaching run. I'm a guide player. I want to teach people how to do Switch.
No. Hold on.
We have players that like.
Nope. You're not. No, you're not.
45 minutes to do Ghosts of the Deep. I do not want to teach right now, right? And so I can go in there and I can say, hey, I'm looking for people at this Guardian rank. I'm looking for people that are experienced and want to go fast. And we know that we need to build a looking for group tool that can do both of those things. And so it's a big step. These systems are very challenging, and I think we're going to learn a lot about when it's coming out. That's why we're like, this is coming out in season 23, and we are going to get people looking at this, playing this, and we're going to figure out, you know, what happens when the community gets it in their hands, and really make sure that we're in a good shape for when people are using this tool to do Final Shape content.
Yeah, and I think to Joe's point from the beginning, it really democratizes some of that like Pinnacle experience, right? Like new players don't know to go out of the game and look for these really legitimately good community services, but like, you know, I think a lot of players stay contained to what's inside of the client. And we want to make sure that those players can have the same grouping experience as the core fans who've learned how to do it in those community activities. So.
Just to nerd out about this a little bit more. So there's like 2 ways to enter into the Fire Team Finder flow. There might actually be a few more. Like one, there's like I'm gonna go select Fire Team Finder from my roster, and you're gonna go into there and you're gonna see the, okay, do I want to do raids? You're gonna pick through this whole flow. Another way, if you like go click on a raid or a thing which you could have other people, you know, in the roster where you see where all the emblems go.
Yeah.
It'll have your emblem, right? Oh, I'm in my Fire Team. And then the next one will just be like, hey, do you want to use Fire Team Finder for this? And you just click on that button, and it'll be like, here you go, right? Like, here. And so we think this is just going to expose a bunch of people to content and get them in. Like, I'm excited to get more, you know, Guardian rank 7s into Guardian rank 8s and expose some of our great content to more people.
And making friends.
Yeah.
Along the way, maybe. If you want.
Yeah, and it only has 45 minutes.
Yeah,
listen, we don't have time to chat here.
Yeah, it's great that we're like setting this up as additive too. So like you said, we're not gonna like go out and take down any of these LFG sites that exist. Like you're welcome to still do it that way if you've built communities that you're comfortable with. This is gonna be another like direction for players.
Absolutely.
So, what does this mean for guided games? Is it time?
You know, I think the guided games beta, you know, might eventually be coming to an end, and so I think we want to make sure we do this in the right way. I know there's some emblems and things that are connected to that, but we really see Fire Team Finder as just the fully fledged version of how to find a group, and so. Yeah, this is definitely the future for finding groups, and we think it's going to solve a bunch of problems. Like, hey, can I make sure that I'm finding people with the same desires as me, and a bunch of things that really guided games couldn't do. And so, yeah, definitely in the future, we don't want people being like, oh, how should I get into a group? Should I go on guided games? Like, no, go to Fire Team Finder.
Go get those rewards while they last.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Joe, this is for you. You mentioned in your video on Twitter last week, in the reveal, we wouldn't be talking about a Strange Coin and Xur revamp or the rework of the HUD. Here we are in the post-show. Surprise.
Wow.
Can you say anything about those things?
I feel like I have a lot more makeup on than I had in my office last week. Okay. I don't want to spoil too much here. I think starting with Strange Coins, we want to do 2 things here. One, we want to make Xur a really exciting experience, right? And this Xur has felt this presence for our most regular players. Like, what Xur got on the weekend? I think we still have that for newer players. They're like, oh, I gotta go to Xur. Like, we've lost it with our people that play Destiny every week. And so I think one, it's putting Xur back into this, like you're going to be excited about what Xur is selling this week. Two, it's like going back to Strange Coins, right? Like this feeling of, hey, I'm doing ritual stuff in Destiny, strikes, PvP. I'm getting these coins, and I'm like, what am I going to spend them on? And so this is also about, making some of our ritual content rewarding. It's optional. Pick what you want to do. Play Gambit, play Strikes, play Crucible. But you're going to do that, and you're going to get something, and you're like, hey, how's my Strange Coin purse looking, right? Like, and then when's Xur coming? Because certainly a lot of Guardians were caught by surprise early in Destiny's life cycle of, is that really worth my Strange Coins? And they lived to regret that moment. And so, maybe a little bit of that coming back wouldn't be a bad thing.
That's good.
Oh, HUD, was that the other one?
Yeah.
I think, to talk, sort of zoom out and talk about HUD, for our players that go really into build crafting and go into some really tricky activities, there's gonna be this moment where you look on the left-hand side of your screen, like, oh, there's a lot of text there, and it's important and it's hard to parse. And this is the thing that we're like, hey, we've just got to make this more clear. And so really this update is about moving some of that stuff around the HUD to better locations to make it more clear, hey, what's coming from my Guardian, what's coming from the environment or from enemies, and making sure that the important stuff stays on screen, right? And
like Unstable Life.
All right, here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna BRB.
How many armor charges do I have?
Until I get into Destiny.
How much time do I have left before I die, right?
Change of plans, they're gonna keep listening to us.
How to place a monster and it feel good for a first-person shooter, and like there's a Jason Jones video that you watch when you start, right? There's like hey, a senior activity designer pulls you into a room. We still have so much of this like really legacy talent on the Destiny 2 team, but I think the thing that always surprises me is time flies. You'll be like,
hold on.
Oh, this is this person that's new to the studio, and they're actually like, actually, I've been here for 3
Ironically,
years.
I have to go to the bathroom, so I will BRB. I will keep this stream running. I will just mute.
They're the person that's pulling
and I'll see you
someone
guys
into a room
later.
and be like,
Well, I'll see you guys in a second.
First-person shooter, and it's really awesome to see that talent grow at Bungie. And I think what's really important is we still in the studio on the team have all these people that carry this legacy knowledge, and we are spreading it and propagating it. Sometimes not just to Bungie, sometimes to the rest of the games industry, and that's a really great culture to be a part of.
It is, and like, I mean, just recently I was in a playtest where, this is no joke, like it's, we had a smattering of folks who were in their first week. Like part of their first week was to be in this Final Shape playtest. And also in the same room were 2 20+ year Bungie veterans who have been on Destiny from the jump, right? And so it's just, I know that like, it's probably hard to wrap your head around if you're not on the inside, and I don't want to start like naming names of people and whatnot, but like, it's just, I think the mix of, to Joe's point, of that like veteran savvy and you know, new fresh ideas, you know, new hunger for different parts of the game. I think just it's just a really cool culture, to Joe's point, and I think it does really good things for the game over time.
I love that. Well, this next question is completely unrelated, but
I love it.
But it's important. So the new supers.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Great transition. There are some new supers showing up that look spectacular. I noticed that the Warlock super looks like it took a lot of inspiration from Radiance. Well, he does say that in the video, but it looks really similar. How's it going to be different?
Yeah, let's be like super candid. A bunch of Warlocks are probably watching this right now, and they're saying, Joe, aren't people just going to ask me to run well? Like, you keep giving me new supers, right? Aren't people going to ask me to run well? And so I think, one, we know that's an issue, and we're solving it in a bunch of ways. Like, maybe there's a support auto rifle solution to this problem. Maybe there's some different ways that we balance things that are going to be making this. But we know that for Warlocks, hey, the bar to clear here is, can I equip this in high-end content? And so a bunch has even happened since we've been recording. Here are the 2 things I think are really surprising about the Warlock Super. Okay, I'm gonna add a third.
Okay.
One, let's rip the Band-Aid off right away. We did not want to bring forward self-res, right?
Yes.
Like, in an effort where we're like, hey, we want to get the competitive aspect of Destiny to an awesome place. Like, one thing I think was not going to help us do that is self-res. It's going to be a really frustrating thing to fight against.
I really miss having to stand next to a ghost during the trials.
Yeah. Scope right there, right? Like, I don't know, is he going to do it? So if this super isn't about self-res, what's it about? And so we said, okay, first, we love this first-person guns-out experience. It's a really exciting thing if we do it well. And so, one, even if you don't have anyone around you, this new super is like a DPS machine, right? And so it provides that in a few ways. One, throwing a bird grenade at somebody does a lot of damage. 2, you equip the right melee. Again, you're gonna just want to using those on cooldown. I think the sneaky one here, and it's not just for you, it's also for your allies, is, hey, we're gonna let you put Scorch, not just on your weapon, but on your allies' weapon. And we've actually internally been like, okay, which weapons or which damage types get this debuff? And we're playing with that right now, or that buff. The amount of damage increase that you can put out from everyone on your fire team constantly causing explosions, it's high. And so, again, we talk about with all these supers, like, how do they fit into the meta? How do we get them to a point? And, you know, for some, it's going to be like, hey, we want this to be a PvP all-star.
Right.
For some, we're like, hey, we think it can do both. But really, the where we're at in the phase right now is saying, hey, how can players not just be excited that it's fun? Like, we're really good at the hit feel here. But that's the baseline. The real goal has to be like, I want to use this thing. And so, yeah, Warlocks getting spices added to it right now. We're dialing in, but yeah, we're really excited.
Is Bird Grenade the shipping name?
Yeah. You can probably see that on the website somewhere right now. It's probably like, then Bird Grenade.
Bird Grenade, I like it. Similar beat then, the Hunter super looks a lot like Blade Dancer. Or Arcblade, Blade Dancer.
Yeah, I think sort of we wanted to do, we talked about this like Destiny extract, right? I'm like, okay. I remember when D2 was coming out and we first showed the supers, that there was this really funny piece of fan art where hunters, everyone was talking about their new supers, and hunter was, it was a pole with 2 daggers on the end, and they're like, I got a new super too. And so we weren't like, okay, we know Blade Dancer's iconic, but like Arc Strider and Blade Dancer, pretty similar.
Right.
And so it came, I was like, okay, we still like missing this beat. And I can remember the first time we saw it, it's like, what do you do? It's like, yeah, you
insane.
throw the blade across the map, you teleport to where the blade is, and you spin, and then you have 2 more charges of that, right? Like, and so we're pretty confident, again, in this super. Where's it going to be good? It's going to be good when you've got a boss that you can melee.
Right.
I think where it's really the thing that we're looking at is like Crucible, right? Like Shaxx is like staring at hunters using this right now, and I think what we're really like, hey, how can we make it hit the meta, hit that thing, and also not be the most oppressive thing that we've ever shipped. And so confident in that one, spicy, right? Like, and so really now it's like, how many peppers spicy should the super be? But yeah, I think, you know, so many of our shotgun and hand cannon hunters are like, another way to get across the map, right?
And invisible.
Can I, this is cheating.
Oh.
Because we said it was a super question. Aspects too. I'm not sure if I'm.
I'll allow it.
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah. The hunter aspect. We showed this, and it's like this cyclone in the air.
Yeah.
The 2 things that are exciting. One, it's like cool to give everyone amplified and cool to create a lightning strike below you. It's also just another jump. Like, and if you know about build crafting, you're like, is there anything that would give me another charge of this? And then suddenly you're looking at a hunter and they're like, how many jumps are they doing in a row? And I think if there's one class that wants to be degenerate with jumping around,
couldn't be hunters.
we picked the right one.
Solid call. So if you struggle with the jumping puzzles, you can, you know, put this aspect on and just have
That's
that
me.
extra. Yeah.
That's my clan. It's like, oh, Pika, you need that. On a different beat, the Titan one looks completely different than what we've seen. So you throw a bunch of axes, your fire team can pick them up. How long do these last? Like, this could be a problem too.
Yeah, I think the thing that we've heard really loud and clear is like, hey, Titans, they have a lot of roaming melee punching supers, which is cool. It's the Titan fantasy. I roam, I melee, right? Like, these are the things I was promised on the character screen. You know, when we were putting together the video for the first time and you show a Titan cleaving with axes, or like some Titan is watching this and like, Bungie never listens to me. It's another one, right? I just have an axe this time. And so I think the teams did a really great job of both saying, okay, we want to make something different. Range, one-off. That's where it starts, right? Like throwing axes. And they're like, I think we can still do the fantasy on the other end, right? Like throw the things and then, pick them up and beat up things. And so like for this, right? Like we think about it, high-end PvE, just hitting a thing with the axe does a ton of damage. If you're like fighting Oryx and you're like, I'm not gonna be able to go get these axes, Oryx hangs out over in space, right? You're like, still pretty good to throw an axe at Oryx and do a bunch of damage.
Okay.
The rest is sort of gravy, right? And so this is, you know, you're thinking about something in a strike, you're like picking up the axe and going with it. Pika, we were talking about PvP with this, and so I think
kind of combo play of
I
picked it up, I killed 4 more people. It was crazy.
Yeah, because I think you can pick how you want to deploy a super like this. You can say, hey, everyone's playing way back. I'm just going to toss axes. They have this gravitational pull.
Yeah.
But you got
toss that on a zone.
Yeah.
People on it.
And if you get to the end, you're like, I've tossed 2 of my axes, and you're like, I don't want to run for this. You can just toss the 3rd one at your feet, and then pick up the axe and be like, all right, super still going, right? and go try to chase some people down with an axe. So I'm pretty excited to see how people make some plays with that thing.
You asked at the top what we're most excited about, and I think Joe just gave a better explanation than me as to why supers are like they're gonna be in all aspects of the game. Like that's one of the things that I'm really into with this group of supers is like you're not just gonna see them in PvE or high-end PvE. They're gonna be in PvP. And I think for all 3 classes, I think all 3 of them bring pieces to the table that will get some pretty broad play, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's it's a focused offering here, but we're doing that with intention. We're saying like, hey, we're gonna make a really sharp knife here, and how we're doing that. Like, it's super shaped, right? Like, so I'm pretty excited about what the team's doing.
Yeah.
I see we've really thrown our hosts here for a loop. They're shuffling their cards. They're pointing at questions. They're like, these people just talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Right. So I think we're actually going a little long.
Yeah, so we're gonna skip ahead a little bit, but
Yeah.
I want to hit this beat.
Yeah.
Fair.
Just talking a little too much.
I have
Yeah.
gotten that feedback before.
So I think we're still supposed to talk about Crota, or just go to closing.
Yeah, I just want to verify that in that asset that was the spiky armor that
Oh,
that
yeah.
we're getting.
That was for Cosmo. Cosmo wanted to just be sure.
I just want to be sure.
That the armor for Crota that we saw.
And I know we're going long. You get 2 Crota things. One, you get spiky, glowy armor. I
Thank
think
you.
that
All right, confirmed.
again, the community has been very loud and clear on what Crota armor do we want? The spiky green one. 2, I think that we didn't talk about is we're using contest mode of Crota's End to do some experiments with, hey, how hard should a Raids World First be? So I bet you'll see this coming out, but we're gonna like just take
Slightly
the
turn it
knob
up.
and say, hey, it's really important for our Raid World First base to be these aspirational, feels like the Destiny Super Bowl. We know that's how it has to be in Final Shape. Well, great, because we've got our raid
I have
coming out
returned.
here in 2 weeks.
Y'all ready? All right. Let's go ahead. Wait, I forgot what it said. Anyways, here we go.
Listen up, glitter bums. This is First Ghost and Maru talking. You're still trying to get through the witness's portal, huh? That ain't a door you can just kick open. You even passed some leftover worm for answers. Too bad she led you right to us. Now you need help from the one witch nobody can trust. My boss, Savathun. Even though she's temporarily dead, she left instructions for this very situation. As usual, you maggots are 3 steps behind. Savathun will help you on one condition. First, deal with her sister, Sivu Arath. She's the Hive God of War and the Witness's best general. It's a win-win, see? Don't look so sour. You've already got everything you need. I suggest you start with a witch of your own.
I love that. Sweet. Or it might be a little rusty, but all right. So you know how this goes when it comes to my YouTube channel. Every time a season gets released, we're gonna pop into the new thing and we're gonna check all the stuff in the collection stuff.
The witness poses a dire threat, and the Witch Queen holds the answers we seek. But only if we contend with her sister. Amaru has promised us a method for defeating Sivu Arath, arranged by Savathun before her death. There is a spire atop her throne world sanctum, a place of dire experiments where she abused the light. With this knowledge, Imaru and I have devised a powerful artifact infused with Hive magic. It will allow you to dispel the Witch Queen's trickery and master the spire through a ritual of our own.
Okay. I don't know how this is gonna go, but we'll find out. Let's wait until we load in to our throne world. Acolyte staff, the artifact. Okay, now that we're in.
Death, the Witch Queen lays her snares for us. Be careful, Guardian.
This is a real privilege, so act like it. Savathun doesn't open her spire to just anyone.
If such a place exists.
Why lie? when the truth is so much more dangerous.
You are not the Witch Queen, and the Guardian is far more dangerous.
Please. Sivo Arath is too much for you to handle. You need our help.
And you need ours.
True. Alright, let's take a first glance at our thing. For some reason, the clan banner is not there. Was I kicked out of the clan? No, I was not. Okay, so, first things first, the Acolyte Staff. Let's see. Anti-barrier auto rifle, anti-barrier bow, pierce anti-barrier bow, unstoppable scout, overload hand cannon, and unstoppable fusion. Interesting. Arc Strand Siphon combo, Solar Strand Siphon combo, Void Strand Siphon combo, Origin Perk Specialization provided by the Head Rush, Nanotech Chaser Rockets, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Diviner's Discount. All scavenger mods are discounted. That's good. Strand Weapon Final Blows have a chance to generate a tangle. And also the Head Rush and Nanotech are always overcharged when that modifier is active. Okay. While using a Void subclass, Void Weapon Final Blows have a chance to spawn a Void Elemental Orb. Void Orbs can be thrown to create a Void Explosion that makes enemies, it damages volatile. While using an Arc subclass, Arc Weapons, Arc Elemental Orb, and Solar Elemental Orb. Okay, Overload Machine Gun, interesting. Elemental Fury. While stunned, champions take bonus damage from your abilities and Elemental Orb damage. Okay. Communal pickups. When an ally destroys or picks up your Tangle or Elemental Orb, the Tangle cooldown is reduced by 5 seconds, and you gain bonus damage with weapons matching your subclass for 10 seconds. Refreshing pickups. Picking up a Tangle or Elemental Orb grants energy to your least powered ability. If you have fewer than 2 stacks of armor charge, rapid precision shots with bow snipers are going to generate an armor charge. That's good. Dealing elemental ability damage increases matching weapon damage, and elemental weapon damage increases matching ability damage. Bonus granted is 10% for 5 seconds. Rapid Fire Ranger. Rapid precision hits against distant combatants weaken them for a short duration. That would be good. Elemental Embrace subclass elemental buffs grant you bonus recovery and damage resistance against combatant attacks of the matching element type. Okay. Combatant Final Blows with Tangles or Elemental Orbs have a chance to drop special or heavy ammo. Am I dropping any more frames? No. Round 1, Frenzied Stacks. Collecting an Orb of Power causes you to gain 1 temporary armor charge. That's good. Your armor charges grant bonus damage to your thrown Tangles or Elemental Orbs. Your armor charge now decays over time. Okay. Interesting. I have one thing. We're going to put it in hand cannon. Let's go into Journey. Season of the Witch. Then blah blah blah. Fully equipped. Anyways. Okay. Now. Oh, I can just hell yes. Now I just unlock things? That's sweet. That makes it so much easier, man. So that means I can now see every single one that I own. I'm loving it. Anyways, sorry, that was cringy. Anyways, collections. Let's take a look at exotics first. Any kinetics? 2 kinetics. Energy. X Dearest. Okay, so volatile. So it's a grenade launcher. So volatile launch. Supposed to payload. Okay. This magazine continuously draws ammo from reserves. The magazine also enables firing arc projectiles that detonate on impact. Final blows of this weapon create a loyal moth. The moth will seek out nearby targets and detonate, damaging and blinding them. as a catalyst, and this weapon enrages when dealing or taking sustained damage, gaining increased rate of fire while enraged. Oh, I like that. Any power? No. Now armor. There's one. Briar Binds. Looks interesting. One with the Void. Your Void Souls have a longer duration. They also gain escalating damage and durability as they defeat targets. You can retrieve your Void Souls by interacting with them, allowing them to be redeployed. Hunter? I don't have a Hunter anymore, so. 1. Mothkeeper's Wraps. Your grenade becomes a cage of loyal moths that release on impact and fly toward the nearest target or ally. If they reach a target, they detonate in a blinding explosion. If they reach an ally, the moths grant your ally a void overshield. That's good. I knew they were... That's really cool. Titan. I have a Titan. Paragol Gauntlets. What do they look like? Those shoulder things, they look so bad. Modifies Burning Maul into a single high damage slam of your hammer that creates 5 cyclones of flame. Second slam creates a cyclone of flame. That's really cool. New ornaments? None for auto. 2. 1 for Le Monarch. Infinite Quiver. That looks beautiful. And Future Past, which is for the Spire of the Watcher thing, which it's just a Braytech look. Hand Cannon? None for Hand Cannon. A little upsetting, but whatever. None for Pulse Rifle. None for Scout for sidearms. 1 for sidearm. Flowing Phoenix for Final Warning. Looks pretty good. Submachine guns for Huckleberry. It's nice and pink. It's the Daito. I love it. That's cool. Fusion rifles. None for fusion rifles. Linear. None for linear. Shotguns. None for shotgun. Sniper. None for sniper. Grenade. That's this one. Looks pretty, regardless. Machine guns. 2 for machine guns. 1 is for Grand Overture, and the other one is for Inner Beauty. But that's a good Callus reference. But that's cool. I like the moving parts on it. That's cool. I like that. Anomalous Domain. Of course they had to do a Black Armory theme. But that doesn't really fit the style. Granted, it looks beautiful, but it doesn't fit the style. None for rocket launchers, none for swords, trace rifles, 1 for trace rifle. For the Season of Deep one, that is definitely a Tex Machina. Anyways, glaives, none for glaives. Okay. Weapons, any new auto rifles? Doesn't look like it. Any new scout rifles? 2 new scout rifles. The guiding sight. Reoccurring iron weapon. So it's a strand, okay. And Bria's Love. So this is the seasonal weapon. Looks really good. Love the style. The origin trait. Standing up after crouching for a short time grants this weapon a brief period of improved handling and reload speed. It's pretty cool. I like that. Anything else? No. Okay, pulse rifles. Nightshade is coming back. Okay, Nightshade and Spy Mimic. It's a high impact frame. It has wildcard. Final blows of this weapon have a chance to create experimental submunitions at the target's location. Interesting. It has a nice look. It has a nice look to it. Nothing else. Hand cannons. I know there was a new there. Whoa. Okay, Warden's Law. I knew this thing was coming back. I'm not surprised that it came back. I know that this thing. A 257. Hold on a minute. Heavy burst. Huh, interesting. Okay. An adaptive frame. Kept confidence. That looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Stunning. Majestic even. Look at that. You know I'm gonna want one of those. I hope it can roll with explosive payload. And they brought back Igneous Hammer. Precision instrument. Dealing sustained damage increases precision damage. What? Reloading shortly after dealing a final blow grants cure to you and your nearby allies. That's amazing. That just purely amazing for Crucible. Some machine guns. The Showrunner, an unending tempest. A Crucible 600 RPM. Nadir focus. Sustained fire increases accuracy and range. Increases lunge distance for swords and projectile velocity for launchers. That's cool. And the Showrunner. Kinetic tremors. For a submachine gun. A 900 RPM. You know I'm going to be grinding for that. That'll be actually a pretty decent one. Alright, sidearms. Any new sidearms? One new sidearm. It's a 360 RPM. It's a solar. Okay, any new bows? Two new bows. Okay, that's definitely Vanguard. And Point of the Stag. Welcome back, friend. I know there's a couple of people that would love to see you again. Special. Any new shotguns? Kind of hoping there will be a new shotgun. No. Oh, yes there is. There's one. It's an aggressive frame. Nice. Okay. Grenade launcher. No new grenade. Fusion rifles. 2 new fusion rifles. The Eremite, which is a high impact frame. And Nox Perennial, which is another impact frame. Sniper rifles. Locus Locutus. That looks pretty. Adaptive frame. That scope. It's very unique. Love that. Anything else? Another one. Oh, Persuader is coming back. I know Persuader. Gain bonus damage when attacking targets from higher ground. That interesting. Aggressive frame that can have Cascade Point. That scope does not look like it fits, honestly. Alright, trace rifles, no new trace rifles. Any glaives, no new glaives. Heavy. Swords. Any new swords? One new sword. It's an adaptive frame. It has destabilizing rounds, which is interesting. And any heavy grenade launchers? There is. Cataphract. It's a Trials grenade launcher. I was expecting them to make one soon enough. Cool. All right, rocket launchers. Okay, 1. High impact frame. Linear fusion rifles? Nope. Machine guns. A Gambit one. 360. And yes, destabilizing rounds and clown cartridge. Where's that? Huh? That's going. Principal. Electric principal? I don't know. Okay. Oh, wait, crap. And then... Wait, I forgot. I didn't get to see the other hand cannons. This malediction. It is that's beautiful. This is the seasonal one. Enlightened action. Dealing damage improves reload speed and handling. Harmony. So what does the Crucible one look like? Okay, interesting. Mold Envy. That looks a lot better. And now for Vanguard. Colorful. Pulse rifles? No. Nope. Okay. Armor. Now I know Skybreaker suit. Nice dragon. How's the robes? The robes look very nice. Like that little celestial look to them. Wait a minute. Is this Trials armor? It's Trials armor. What the frick? Trials dragon armor? Huh. Well then, no. Then I need to look at the hunter. What does the cloak look like? Fuck. And it's moving as well. And it's a hawk. Fuck. I might have to grab another hunter. That should be too bad, because I have that stuff. What is this? Is this a bear? That is genius. Again, the shoulders, don't like them. Like that, though. That's really cool. Damn it, I have to play Trials now. Because I want that armor. The armor looks so good. Not much for the Warlock, but more the Hunter. Because the Hunter looks just looks so good. So much better. Alright, we'll take a look at the season pass in a second. Death Singer suit. That is probably for either a dungeon or Crota's End. I think it's Crota's End because Death Singer is. Alright. Now let's take a look at equipment. Let's take a look at the ghost shells for this. So the final shell. Oh, that's clever. It's the pyramids and the traveler right there. There's a deluxe edition, so I have to pre-order the deluxe edition for their final shape. Not gonna lie, kinda want to get it. Sheriff shell for ghosts at high noon. Like it. Ever season of the witch thing. Hexed shell, desecrated shell. Interesting. Okay. The ships. The season of the witch one. I like that. That looks pretty good. To be honest with you, that's probably the only good one in my opinion. Sparrows. Unlocked by a special offer. Huh. Interesting. Laminos. Interesting. Nothing else that looks very of intrigue. Doesn't really pique my interest, so I will leave it at that. And now for Flare. Should probably have my That looks cool. Okay, account. That's a new general. Do I have? Did I get my? No, I didn't. All right, I can wait. Woodland Warband. That looks pretty cool. Honestly, that looks nice. I like that. Strikes. And it strikes world. And for Trials of Osiris, no. Raids, no. Okay, shaders. My #1 favorite thing that I'm worried about. Gotta be any good ones. Oh, I see one that I might absolutely enjoy. Okay, Highlander. Like that glow. I like the plaid. I like that. That looks nice. Luminous Void. That is going to be my main shader if I can get it. Please, what is it? How do I get it? Some surfaces and textures move or change over time. Oh, they actually show it. Oh. No. Sorry. Controller disconnected, but you know I'm getting that. You know I am getting that shader. By any means necessary. Gamekeeper. Ossified carving. Okay. An organic adornment. Oh, that's probably like Lucent Hive shader. Activities. Sanguine Splash. Sanguine. I don't remember. Okay. Interesting. 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 Dragon's Teeth. It's the Iron Banner shader. That's something I would want to go for, honestly. A new Gambit shader. It's black and white, but that's probably because it's not supposed to be there. Anyways, Night Vision. Tower. Anything new for Tower? Occurrence of Whisper. Pretty bland. Anything for the world? No. Anything for Zawarudo? Okay, new season. We have the Crystalline Breakout. Okay. High Commandable. I like that. Beyond Sight. Okay. No new mass. Finishers. Unblockable is probably the... Okay, I like that. That's funny. Okay. And now for the final thing. We go to the season. I grab my free seasonal exotic. We look through everything. Hi, I'm Jay Cargo, and you're watching Disney Channel. Well, Worm Boy. Arise, Worm! Alright, that's kind of funny. It's something I would have equipped, but it's kind of funny. Alright, and now for the store. Now we take a look at Bright Dust first. Okay. Moth Buddy, Sunshot, okay. Dream Cycle, do I want to grab it? Not really. So I'm not going to grab it. Alright, Seasonal Offerings. I could go ahead and... Oh. That probably won't appear until far, far in the season then. That is unfortunate. Royal Favor. What's that for? Triggering wear this matching exotic armor. Controverse hold. Okay. Boosted backflip. Okay. Risky archery. Huh. Knighting ceremony, not knitting. Duh. Oh, I like that though. Nothing to see here. Huh. Weekday dance. Huh. Obviously that's a reference. Yo-yo trick. Magic wand, slap fight, hoverboard, square dance. Oh, I love that! You could pull that a unyielding march. Oh. Slap fight, magic wand, hoverboard, samba dance. Yeah. I really want that shader. I really hope I don't miss it. Yeah, how much is the Final Shape annual pass? I don't know. Let's take a look. Probably $100. Yeah, $100 exactly. Okay. Well. I feel like I'm missing something, but I don't know what. Anything new in Transmog? Like, did they refurbish some old armor? Doesn't look like it. Does not look like it. Okay, well. Oh, I pressed the wrong button there. My bad. I am slow as well. I also might be switching to, so might be switching to Witherhorde soon enough. Alright, here we go. Sorry that's low frame rate. I don't know why that is. I think it's just because I'm streaming, but that's okay. Hello? Alright then, if I'm gonna be walking, I don't have my, okay. Okay, okay. Alright, okay. I got it. I understand. We'll get back into that quest in due time. But right now, let's go to, wait, Legends. I know that there's, the Presage. It's Presage today. Okay. Prophecy Dungeon, King's Fall, blah blah blah, Crucible. I know that they added into something new, but I'm not gonna do it. At least not yet. Let's go to the tower. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm tired. I woke up early today so I could watch the thing and play.
You don't want to know? Oh, no, I'm really curious why I got this. It's not like, I mean,
It's a pipe bomb.
I went to school for art, and I used to paint all the time. And first time we've gotten stuff here that we don't know where it came from.
Alright.
Violin, but the violin was clearly a mistake. That was a several $100 instrument that was clearly a mistake.
Okay, Postmaster? Oh yeah, I forgot about that stuff.
All done.
Bruh. Okay, if that's the case, then I will actually take a break. I will 100% start playing tomorrow or later today. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Make sure you guys turn on bell notifications so you get notified every single time I stream/record. And I'll see you in the next one.